Hey, welcome back to Métropole Grid. My name is Andre. I had to think about that. It's January 16th, 2024. Apologies. We're a bit late today. We actually just had an internet outage. Our internet's been out for about the last hour. It just came on back right now. So you have to like scramble and put together the stream and everything. So we're back. It's a bit of a shorter stream. I feel like there's a light right now behind me. It's trying to like backlight me, but now it's just catching all the dust. It's fine. How's everyone doing? We bopping. Lucy, how you been? Would have their local meetups overlap with the grid stream. Couldn't be me on Tuesdays. The classic Tuesday afternoon problem. How you doing? Brennan, it's the grid. On my way to my local meetup. Can't stay to chat. Enjoy your meetup. Enjoy your local meetup even. That sounds really fun. Ahola. Super nut, how's it going? We have a stream today. Again, we have shaved off the first half hour. We are just burning time. So I think we're just gonna jump right into it. This is the list that Torpedo Tyrus and Off 1515 played at the Years Showdown. It's a cool list. It's a Crew Hosh list. I imagine, mind you, this weekend is a big, exciting weekend when it comes to Netrunner. A lot of organized play going on. It is the CBI. 3 different Swiss round tournaments across from Friday evening, functionally for me, all the way until Sunday. We are going to be streaming some of it. I'll have links in the description for I'll be up on Null Signal Netrunner on YouTube and Twitch, the Null Signal Games YouTube channel, Null Signal Netrunner on Twitch, and we'll be streaming the North America stuff. Otherwise, the CBI technically starts in like 24 hours. It starts about like 23 hours from now, which is pretty wild. It's going to be the APAC time zone, so anybody can join any one of them. They just have to be only in one of them, so that will be relatively soon. Pretty exciting. I think your deck submissions, just watch out. They might be due very, very soon. So just make sure if you're playing on Saturday or Sunday, you have to get your deck submission in. I do not know the deadline myself because I don't know, but watch out that it doesn't sneak up on you because you do submit deck lists for tournaments like that. Okay, it's Crew Hosh. Crew Hosh has been really good. I've been really enjoying Crew Hosh, and this list is actually like fundamentally a fair bit different. It is teched into the meta, and we'll see some really cool, some really hot tech cards. But also, I played one game with this and I struggled a bit, and I'll show you exactly why. So, firstly, it is a crew list, which means that their most important cards are things like Amakua, because you're going to be destroying some ice, and whatever ice you don't destroy, you're going to be breaking really cheaply with Amakua. It makes a lot of sense. You also can just use Aquaceris Crew, which is a non-unique connection that came out of Rebellion Without Rehearsal, to reduce strength of stuff by just taking tags. Now, that's not incredibly sustainable. In a lot of matchups, tags don't exactly matter, so you can just float tags. You do have a fair bit of resources, so your mileage may vary. But you can also use Aquaceris Crew to make Amakua just go a bit further. So if you have 2 Amakua counters, you can just use Aquaceris Crew and get through a 4 strength ice if need be. So that's pretty cool. You have a single compilation. This showed up into a bunch of crew lists. I like this card more and more. Unfortunately, the faction I like it the least in is Criminal. Yeah, it's a bit of a bummer. And this card actually gets a bit more reach. Not only does it like dismantle some trap decks, but you can use it as multi-axis attached to one of the very exciting cards, Eye for an Eye, which is multi-axis that allows you to be disruptive and trash combo cards. And this thing has seemed so important at the Years Showdown, where so much of the top cut was playing some Azmari Neurospike. And that is a deck where if you can trash the right combo cards from hand, that deck can't win the game. This has other options, mind you. The deck that did win the Years Showdown, the Nearth Hub deck that's playing operations that will do damage based on tags. Those are also very important trash pieces that you can trash with Eye for an Eye, which is pretty sick. So this card's actually seeing some amount of play, which is something we really haven't seen before. I also do think it makes more sense in a deck like this that is Hoshiko, that has card draw, because while this seems like it's a card that's made for Seb has a lot of issues playing this card, if you ask me. It also means you can work with compilation, you can work with twinning, and these are cards that Seb doesn't necessarily play. Getting multi-axes in Seb can be a bit difficult unless you're tagged, which you do have some stuff. Now, the big difference with this deck and other versions of this type deck I've played before is Annicam as your console slot. Every time that I played Crew in the last little while, my console was Patchwork, and there's 2 big reasons. Firstly, Patchwork rotates soon, and so I love playing some Patchwork because it's just like the most fun enter console that exists in Standard right now. Just trash your cards to gain 2 credits. And I think Patchwork is really great. It's just really, really good. It gives you 2 credits a turn to install your cards. You have a lot of extra cards you don't need. And the more I play Patchwork, the more I realize my deck doesn't have a lot of money, but that's okay because you go pretty far in low credits. I've only played 1 game with this and I struggled with economy. I think I played it like I had Patchwork, and you don't, which means like your deck actually has a lot less money. Most of your money's through the companions. And while I think I'm a big fan of Annicam Shaper, I'm glad people are playing competitively Annicam Shaper. I've been a pretty big proponent of it on this channel for a while now. I'm glad that we're actually seeing it. So this gives you more card draw, which is nice because this deck is also on Banhar, which I don't think I played Crew Hosh with Banhar. So cards in hand matter, but you don't have the extra like 10 to 12 credits you get through a Patchwork game, which is a bit of a bummer. It's hard for me to kind of marry that idea. Oh, let me catch up on chat. I'm good. Spent a chunk of today organizing tech for a stream/recording table to Southeast Regionals next month. Yo, let's go. Excited to start making OTB content. Yo, that's really, really exciting. If you ever need any sort of help with that, like tech stuff or any questions, please do hit me up. I'm really excited that there's more people out there filming, whether it's streaming or like filmed content's great. Not a concern for me since I ain't in the CBI. Hey, R. Gray, how's it going? Wish No Signal would start leaking some of the new set coming out. It's 2025. Can't wait. My guess, I think they actually said on the podcast they were on Neon Static. They did an interview. Oh, I need to be sure so I don't get quoted incorrectly of an incorrect quote. I will quote. But I don't think they said, I'm not expecting anything in January. I don't even know if they confirmed that we'd hear anything in February. So it might be a bit. I am, champing at the bit there. Like, I really want to hear something about the new set. It's been such a long time since we've got cards. Honestly, like, March is basically a year. That's not great. That's a year between getting sets. Like, you wish it was any way different, but I don't expect to hear anything in the next 2 to 3 weeks. Let me tell you. I also will hear things generally sooner than most other people because of content creation and like scoops and stuff like that. If I do get a spoiler for Dawn, but that's all stuff pretty far away. Excited to watch CBI. I dodge invites this year by placing just beneath the person the invite rolled down to at 2 events. That's how it'd be. You have to just go to a lot of events, I think. I know there's a bunch of players that like you'd expect to have an invite that don't have an invite. It's definitely a bummer. Also, whether you have an invite and you're not playing, register. It's probably too late at this point, but register because you get some prize support. Oh, that makes the USB sounds. Let's not do that. Why Cup shows up more in crew lists? Carrie, how's it going? It's because it gives you some multi-access, which is pretty good. It's also technically a way to trash cards without having to interact with the downside of Amakua. So you can like disassemble part of the board with getting Amakua counters. It also is a natural way to run archives and with cupulation steal them a virus so that archives is no longer poisonous for, well, depends how long you keep it on the cupulation. So it's also just like a good kind of aggro card in these sort of decks because these decks often don't run any multi-axis. The sort of Crew Hosh that I played a single Stargate, which I'm a big fan of Stargate for many, many reasons. That doesn't work well with Amakua either. So some other lists are running Cupulation, some are running Stargate. This one's also running Twinning because it has companions. So I think it's a mix of a lot of things. This deck looks like it's really teched for a certain meta. And I think Off 1515 on the interview said that they were really concerned about things like Azmari Neurospike. So that's why cards like this show up, and also to some extent cards like Cupulation show up. This deck also has Ashen, but it and it has 3 Laborites, so that's probably how we get more money in the deck. It's just playing the deck again. Hey Jeremy, how's it going? Fencer detected. Patchwork is real. 10 out of 10 design. Patchwork is just so damn cool. So Fueno in this deck is kind of cool. One of the interactions with Fueno that I didn't realize is you can actually use Fueno to pay for Cupulation, both on the steal, like the cup, and the release. That's kind of cool. Like, that's cute. I think you do need some sort of tech in your deck to deal with assets. It will show up. Like, assets are just part of the meta that, like, I often, again, when I played Crew Hosh as of last year, I did play 2 copies of Miss Bones. Some people were playing 1 copy of Miss Bones, and that's where the influence goes, is on Annicam. So I think a lot of the versions that we saw were just playing like Buffer Drive even sometimes. Amakua is like a staple. Leech 2. Sometimes I play 3 Leeches if I'm not mistaken. I think that's just such a valuable card because Leech Amakua gets you everywhere. But yeah, the influence largely is just sunk into this Annicam. So you're losing Miss Bones and some other stuff. Some people play DJ Fenris as well. Patchwork on screen filling me with Primal Rules Engine Fear. Oh, it's just be cool, right? I've been playing Daredevil Banhar Hosh. Well, that's kind of cool. Daredevil, mind you, is only 1 influence. I'm not like super convinced it's the best thing you can do because it's really expensive. Like, I'd rather just play Earthrise Hotel. I think Earthrise Hotel, it was showing up in a lot of crew lists because it's really good off the price. It's cheaper with Patchwork. But this card, if you need the MU and you want to be running 2 ice servers, like 2 ice servers show up in the meta. It's just, they don't show up enough, I think, for me to be super happy about it. Like against Near Earth Hub, it's kind of a blank card. I don't love that. But if your meta is good for it into Ag Infusion, that's fine. Azmari does have 2 ice servers at some point. It's not too bad. Hey Laura, off topic, but wanted to say that all the Arkham tangents made me finally give it a try. It was great. Fantastic compliment to Netrunner sessions. Yo, it works. Enough tangents will convince people to try it. It's like very Netrunner-esque. Like, you probably understand why Netrunner players like Arkham. I'm glad you had a great time. Hopefully you had a good core set experience. The core set is like, I would say, a bit of a mixed bag if you play through the whole campaign, because it's a bit of a rough end, that's for sure. Hey Jai, morning Metropole, happy pre-CBI day. Jai, are you playing? What day should people be dodging, you know? Hope everyone's having a good day. PMK, I'm doing well. We started a bit late today. We didn't have internet. Now we have internet. It's great. Hey, Mad Pretty, I was able to pull 6 cards from the list you sent me on the O&R. Can you DM me a PO box or something to send these to? I wish I had more, but my Proteus collection is lacking. Hey, that's very kind. Thank you. I do need to figure out a PO box or something like that. I will probably set one up. I think it's something that's been a bit nervous that like I share addresses sometimes and I shouldn't do that as a streamer and I probably should do better. So I'll look into a PO box and I'll hit you up. If it's through Twitch, that makes sense. Maybe that'll be good. If you're the person who wrote the nice YouTube comment that offered that I responded to, maybe you're the same person. I don't remember the handle, but thank you. That's very kind. I'll figure something out. I really appreciate it. The more you talk, the cooler I find this list is. It's really neat. It's a really interesting list. Let's give it a shot. I think I've only played one game with it. Did you catch the mulch list at Showdown? I saw mulch adjacent lists. I think I saw some. I looked through a bunch of the lists and I think we're going to see mulch stuff at CBI for sure. I'm not playing doing comms for back of APAC in front of EMEA. Oh, sick. I probably should have seen that on the schedule. Okay, that's great. Jai, I'm excited to hear you on comms. All hail Arkham. Arkham's pretty good. We got some Marvel Champions spoilers today, and like the stream started late, so we don't have time to jump into it, but they're really good spoilers. Like genuinely just very cool spoilers. I'm also a big Marvel Champions. Oh, Nanico the cat. Oh, backlight. She's just enjoying her little table. She's got her butt on a playmat. Life can be so much better. It cannot be better. What am I trying to say here? I'm not actually sure. So many spoiler season. It's a lot of different spoiler seasons. It's about like every game's in spoiler seasons right now, which is kind of fun, except Netrunner, which Netrunner, I don't know, maybe a month and a half. I'm not too sure. But it's been good. Arkham is winding down. Mind you, new Arkham comes out at the beginning of February. I think the Investigators come out. In Canada, who knows what that's going to translate to? Sometimes we're months behind. Bummer. But otherwise, I think it's like pre-release of Flesh and Blood in 2 weeks, I want to say. I think maybe next week is pre-release for Flesh and Blood in Montreal. I know very little about the new set, except it's looking edgy. It's like looking like one of those edgy sets I don't care about. Every once in a while, Flesh and Blood does like a really edgy set. This is one of them. Yay. That was me. I am JG on YouTube, but you can DM here on Discord if you use that, and we can set something. I'm excited to get that cube collection completed. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Hey, not again. Hey. How's it going? So this is the matchup near Earth Hub. I'm assuming it's combo kill. This is the sort of matchup where I really want to have Miss Bones. I think Annicam is like not that great. Like one of the cool things about Patchwork, it gives you 2 credits on every single turn, almost regardless of what's going on board state. And that's very important to get that sort of like click compressed economy on a near Earth Hub matchup where like you have so many clicks to check the table and get money. And so you can just like play operations while making too many credits. It's great. It's doing well. Daria went for the mullet. We're going to keep. Oh, I was going to write keep in chat. Best of luck. Have fun. I like this hand. Why? Because, well, Steelskin Scarring, it's not bad. We're going to try not to play this because this might be a kill deck. We have early Sure Gamble. We're definitely going to run on turn 1. Fencer Fueno in our opening hand would be fine too. Wildcat Strike is a bit of a weird card because you don't want to play a last click. So we're probably just going to do like, unfortunately, we can't do Sure Gamble Annicam because Annicam is the first event. So you can't do like Sure Gamble Annicam Wildcat. It just won't work. So we'll do Sure Gamble. We'll touch the table. We might have to make 2 runs. And then we'll probably do Annicam next turn into Wildcat Strike and see what happens. Either we draw 5 cards or we don't. All right, so Amaze Amusements could be the upgrade. Holloman could be the upgrade as well. The early score out is the bad one, is often false lead. I don't think we can really afford to deal with that. So we probably just set up. The ice is actually really annoying because it's mostly like 1 to 2 strength stuff. So generally we have to tag ourselves unless we're like running centrals with leech, which we don't often do. So it means you end up taking tags. Like a ping is like 2 tags for you, which is pretty rough. So that's not great. We could like make the res here. If it's like a stink tank into an Amaze Amusements, it's 3 tags really quickly, but we just don't want to like a free Rashida is not great. All right, so I think we're just going to do Sure Gamble. We can leech, run HQ. The leech is not super important. I'd rather draw through the deck a bit. That's really good. That's really, really good. So we'll just run HQ for single. He mulled, so there's probably an agenda in here. F2P, okay. So this is actually probably more of like a Mani Sanai deck, like a bouncy deck than like potentially the kill deck. It is a Rashida. So the defensive upgrade could be an Amaze. Sometimes Managram shows up, but Amaze isn't the most likely unless it's just a Holloman on the table. But F2P is really annoying. Lago's going to be really good. Basically build our own near Earth Hub. We'll go for there. Let's see if Nottingham doesn't build a server. 5 strength ice is not great to see. Ooh, this is weird. Okay, NEH Glacier. All right, this means that we can actually just like use our steel skins. So I'm going to see what happens here. I'm assuming we're going to get the credits. There's a chance Daria will give us a bunch of cards. Okay, we got the credits. No surprise. So we can go leech archives to keep Hoshiko on. We don't have a huge incentive to keep Hoshiko online. We don't want to play any of these cards really because we've Annicam so far. So we'll continue to draw. I think playing Devil Charm is just kind of fine here. We don't need to discard any of these cards. So we'll just do Devil Charm and flip back. You can always run archives, but at that point you're spending like, it doesn't do that much for you. Having all these in our hand is rough. Oh yeah, Annicam's really good with Lagu, that's for sure. Okay, buy is great. Banhar is great. 2 cards on the table. I don't want to really just buy one of these because it might be like a spin doctor and you don't get a lot of value. So we're going to try and end our turn by having Banhar. We're going to touch 2 of these cards. We just want to make sure there's no Amani Sinai on the table because then Nottingham can score out. The bad one to score out is the 3-1 that says we get a tag the first time a thing is trashed. If that happens, it's really bad for us. Okay, bad ordering. Spin Doctor we probably won't trash. So we're going to Strike Fund to draw a card and then just play Banhar. Cool. Yay, Jello, how you doing? How's your Thursday? Okay, Rashida. So that's 2 Rashidas, so first Spin Doctor. So Nottingham hasn't cycled any cards, it was drawn through 20, which means it's likely that the Spin Doctor is going to push agendas out of the hand. That being said, Nottingham does have a scoring remote. We'll see if we do like a annoying oppo here. I'd be surprised, but we don't have any way to deal with ice. So we really have to hope we get something soon. So we have cards we can shuffle back if it's Degree Mill. So we probably want to like install a leech, run archives. Then maybe we actually should deal with the table first because of Amani. Oh, we drew all our like trash from top of deck synergy cards. That's really frustrating. So other option here is we can do Sure Gamble, contest server 1. We might end up with 2 to 3 tags depending, and we can force some reses. If it's an Amani Sinai and any of these cards get bounced, it's not like the end of the world. The Annicam is a bit of a liability into it, but Amani Sinai would be server 4, server 5. Ideally, we want to see a res and we want to buy a Banzit. I think we're just going to charge. Oh yeah, we draw a card. Because almost no matter what happens here, we get pushed forward, either cards or credits, and we've been drawing too many cards, let's be honest. My Thursday's been good. Spent the day looking through my Netrunner decks, deciding if I want to change up decks or just run the ones I have until dawn. What did you come down to, the decision? I think the meta is kind of exciting for as like much as it hasn't changed too much. So we have to take a damage. Lost the leech, bummer. That's a cheap install for Degree Mill. It's a B1001. Very cool. Very, very cool. Okay. So this is probably an agenda. We could buy a band's B. The tag got cleared for us, which is actually like really important. So I think we're going to chase the Spin Doctor first before we chase the B. We have to keep in mind that B is like, seems important. Did I miss Métropole Grid reacts to Switch 2? I have no reaction to the Switch 2. It's like whatever. Oh, sorry. I want to deal with the Spin Doctor first. So we only have 2 clicks. So B1001 we don't have to deal with. I want to deal with the Spin Doctor. We can alternatively do that by running archives. That'll mean that we guarantee to touch a card. But I want to deal with the Spin Doctor before we get oppoed and before anything else. There has to be agendas in archives though. So how many of these cards are we throwing out? We can throw out the Lagu, no problem. The Eye for Eye we can throw out as well. Eye for Eye is unplayable into a B1001. Yeah, there you go. This one has to go. Pal, what do you think about the Switch? It's a federal. Okay, we'll trash that. So we touched a card, which is fine because our economy is good. Our hand is all like Banhar, but we'll see. If not, again, I'm assuming we'll score out an AR enhanced security. Yeah, that's the bad one. So now things are really bad. It means just about anything we run. We're going to try and go HQ here and try and snipe an agenda before it gets to server 1. We'll do Hoshiko first. Okay, so we'll go HQ. The bad thing about AR enhanced security, it fires anytime that we trash a corp card. So not only from centrals, but also if we trash with Aquasaris crew, it's really, really annoying. So I think we'll just buy a bands down server 4. It's actually might be good to keep this for a tag clause. I just, yeah, this might be a bad use of the buy bands. Yeah, I think it is. Okay, Copulation is good. Oh, we trashed a card. Oh yeah, we should have used the buy bands for that. We want to play an event this turn, so I think we just play Strike Fund. Floating a tag is not great. Ooh, we really made a pig's ear out of this. We played an event this turn? Oh, we played buy bands. Of course we did. We'll just run HQ. We could end up with 2 tags if this is a ping. If it's the VSA, we also take 2 tags. We'll float a tag. No res, okay. So this might be the F2P or it might be a Messna Chesvo. It's a shipment from Vladisibirsk. I think that is a card that we could consider taking because then Nottingham doesn't have a shipment from Vladisibirsk. We probably get Oppo this turn, but we can't really run back. So this will drop us down to 2 credits, which is not great. You know, I'm an Nintendo nerd. I'm getting a Switch 2 on launch probably. The frustrating thing is I feel like I'm wrong too. I just don't like, I don't think they sold anything. They just said like, look, it's a Switch. It's slightly bigger. And then they showed what I think is a new Mario Kart game, but the fact that you can't tell, like, doesn't make me excited. Relatable, I'm battling over what to do with my RE deck in the post-Trickshot world. It was in tier 1 before the Trickshot ban, and I'm struggling for air now. Oh, okay. Yeah, that's tricky. I feel like F2P is on HQ. I think it showed up on R&D the turn after. So we'll ban her server 1. I think this is an Amaze Amusements. It's actually worth keeping the compilation for Amaze Amusements. It is one of the few cards that beats it. I don't think there's that much in server 1 that we're going to be upset if it goes across. I think the worst case scenario is a Regolith, honestly. So I think we take a turn off here. If a Regolith goes across, it's really bad. Rashida's we've seen 2 already, so that's not too worrisome. I didn't pay attention to what got shuffled back with spin. 2 unseen, that makes sense. I don't want to sure gamble this turn because I'm assuming that we'll get it played for a credit next turn and we'll flip out. I mean, if it's my Hades 2 machine that also plays my first party Nintendo games, I'll be happy. I think I'm just like, I don't know, Nintendo games, they put out like only 3 or 4 of them. They're never on sale. I don't know. I feel like I've got more and more upset about Nintendo over the years. I feel like I'm getting grumpy and old. I hope that's not the case. Bought a Steam Deck today. Oh, second Aries, that's cursed. To replace a laptop in the portable Netrunner streaming setup, and that's pretty much going to fill my Switch gaming. That's what I mean. Like, I got a Steam Deck, and it like does everything I want it to do. Like, I'll play Hades too. Okay, so now we just don't trash cards. We have to win, which is not great that we have literally no multi-axis besides a twinning. Like, compilation, actually, that could work. We could swipe HQ here, but we can definitely run all over the table this turn. So, sure gamble to draw a card is totally fine. So here we can run HQ for a single, we can run R&D. We need to find our, I think it's 1 copy of twinning. Hopefully it's 2. It's 1 twinning. Okay, bummer. So we can try and see, I think we can see 3 from HQ here and just make sure the agendas don't hit the table. Federal fundraising is locking the top of R&D. If we trash this, we take 2 tags though. Maybe we should hold on to the shipment. I think this is a fine turn to like go for it though. We can use the fencer for now. Regolith, can't trash it, we'll take 2 tags. Oppo, okay. Spin Doctor, yeah, that's just not going to be good for us. Okay, that's fine. We'll probably get oppoed, at least we're not on threat. So if we run back and we steal a 2-pointer, we're on threat, and we want to avoid that. So I think the pinhole threading is going to be the worst card for us. I think we just draw here last click. Yeah, that's fine. Even the crew is like not great because any ice we trash, we take 2 tags. Like, it's really, really bad. Andre's still mad about his Sega sponsorship falling through. Hey, Foglos. I've been reaching out to the Dreamcast people, and they've been really slow to respond. You see, which Steam Deck did you get? They're really great. Ares SMH, yeah. Definitely a 3-1 that exists right now. It's really annoying to deal with this. Compilation is definitely an option. But here the best thing we can do is get our twinning and just see 3 cards on R&D every turn. Oh, I didn't check. Did we trash our twinning? We've lost an Amakua. We know one of these is Spin Doctor. Austerity. Okay, that is going to force the issue. We have to deal with austerities before the Oppo goes across, though. So still not a lot of money. I don't really want to run HQ. Fencer Fueno does help deal with austerity. So the big thing with Fencer Fueno, where it's not as good as Miss Bones, is one of the best things you do against AR is trash a lot of things on a turn. Unfortunately here, we can't trash a lot of things. So maybe we actually do trash a lot of things. We trash the austerity, we trash the Regolith, and then we trash the Maryland, and then we clear, well, no, we don't do all of that. I'd be surprised if there's another ban list pre-dawn. I would be very surprised if there's a ban list pre-dawn. So maybe this is a Spin Doctor, so we'll do this, but I want to deal with the Regolith. It's a Bladderwort. Oh shit, okay. Oh, we only have 2 clicks, I need to remember that. Alright, we're just drawing too many cards. I don't care about Bladderwort. It'll fire our Annicam. Okay, this is gonna be really annoying. All right, hopefully we lose a steel skin. We draw 3 cards. Yeah. Kind of wild. Oops. Crow, I don't know if I said, hey, how's it going? Expensive one, whatever the top spec OLED one is. Yeah, that really nice one. I think that one's nice. Actually, running R&D was a bit silly there because Not Again knows the top of the deck. It's really hard on JNet to follow what happens with federal fundraising. But Not Again knew the top of the deck was entirely safe. So running R&D was entirely a waste of time. We have to watch out for Ashen, but we have 2 labor rights. So one of these could be a Regolith. Does this deck have Ashen? It does. It has 1 Ashen. So we know Regolith, we know Spin Doctor. Fencer, she's hungry. Banhar on R&D. Oof, that's too many cards. I keep telling that they should just do rotation now and we live in the ruins until dawn. See what it's like. So I just don't want to dirty laundry the Spin Doctor. Oh, we have 4 clicks. What a life. So we need to bring the Regolith down. It's a Lady Liberty. I mean, I'm just going to trash everything that matters. We take 2 tags, whatever. There's a Spin Doctor. Okay, so unfortunately, we're floating a tag this turn. Lady Liberty is actually not super important to trash while we have 2 1-pointers. That's actually a regret. I forgot we're on 2 tags. So it looks like the Bladderwort, unless you res something really expensive here, won't do damage. So we're just going to lose a bunch of cards. We know that there's a self-growth program in hand, so we don't want to float a single tag. We can get rid of one of these, one of those. We have to get rid of 2 more. We'll get rid of Crew, and I think we'll get rid of a Steel Skin. We only have 9 cards left. What would you do to make Federal more obvious? Note-taking. I don't know. Say in chat. Like in very bold, they didn't draw a card or whatever. It's going all right. Stressing about CBI, but can't avoid that. Crow, are you playing or are you judging? Plug in a webcam on a tripod stand and boom arm, dock it and plug into power, stream record, use it as a portable PC with good enough GPU to process the footage. Yeah, it seems good. It seems like a great idea. I'm pretty sure OBS works on Linux. I don't know if you're going to load something else on it. It's my baby. That's what I thought. I think you're in a good spot, Croy. This is hell. The fact that we haven't found our twinning yet makes this really, 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 really hellish. At some point in tomorrow's headline will be scored with an austerity. We'll get our board bounced. Like I don't feel like we're in control of the game, but I think when our control is trashing things. OBS does work on Linux. Okay, that makes sense. We're gonna get sharked so hard by the West Coast. Yeah, probably. So this is probably the Regolith. I think Regolith is the only way that you can afford. I'm just gonna tilt out and try and win on centrals. We'll probably have to float a tag because of Oppo. Starlit Night. Okay. All right, now money's not great. We lost a labor rates. Losing the second labor rates will be a problem. Can't try. Daria knows. Why are we doing this? Daria knows the top of the deck. This is so bad. Why are we doing this? Focus. Okay. So if this is a Regolith, we float 2 tags. You can't float tags into self-growth program. I mean, like, what do we do? I think we just do draw a Mystic. Everyone in APAC is doing production and nobody's playing. Confirmed. Would a big eye icon on the card remind you the opponent would know? Yeah, I think knowing what they know would be useful, right? Like I don't honestly know if this is like a huge thing. Having the cards being marked as known cards might be useful on either side of the table. Don't lose your Ashen. Ashen is the last card in the deck. Oh no, we've already trashed it a long time ago. That's fine. One of these actually might be an agenda. We know there's still Spin Doctor, so I don't really want to so Not Again will fast advance out this turn. So we should probably pressure HQ. We finally got our twinning. So it's likely that Not Again keeps the agenda 2 cards down, maybe? I haven't followed what Not Again's been doing. It's a VSA, so we're going to end up taking a tag, and we have no clicks left. Fantastic. We just threw the game. Yeah, I'm out of it. Chiriboga does it, yeah. Rohit, how's it going? Chiriboga does it really well. Yeah, we just threw the game. And we're gonna get self-growth programmed. Oh, we lost every single labor rates. I'm done. I am so done. Amani Sanai, yeah, okay. That's fine. Pay to steal? Actually, wait, there's a chance we can just win. Like, we'll get oppoed. I don't know how quickly we lose. Trace 4, I don't care. Daijin, how you doing? You ready for tomorrow? Like, we did everything wrong here. I'm assuming, well, at least Nottingham doesn't have money. The problem is we have no recursion. I didn't manage the recursion. Fencer Fueno will pay a credit. And that's bad. Rashida, okay. What was that? Oh, Bladderwort? The order doesn't matter. So we have to win with these 5 cards. So all we can do is like send it R&D and hope that we hit a degree mill. This is the result that Nottingham desires. But this is like what I don't understand. Just play Miss Bones. I don't know. I get really not into the decks where it's like if you don't score AR enhance, you don't do anything. But like Amani Sanai, it does something. This deck was a lot worse until that. I think that's like a trick shot. If you tilt, he wins. 100%. But like I don't care about this stuff. Yeah, maybe we shouldn't have paid for Fencer Fueno. This is just kind of sick to watch. But on the bright side, you're showing you're human. So this does end the run. I'm surprised Nottingham didn't trash a Banhar. So now I have to really pay attention. Declines to draw a card. So we have to see 2 cards on R&D somehow. Because the top card of R&D is safe. So we likely just have to run HQ. So we don't know what 12 is. Could be a Spin Doctor. We don't know what 15 is. Probably a B1001. So we just have to go tag me and run HQ. Nottingham's on exactly 5 credits, which is miserable. So we run server 15. We actually might just like dirty laundry archives, I think. It's plus 5 credits. We can do twinning laundry, run R&D. Oh, I should Benhar R&D then. We just have to suss out whether one of these is a Spin Doctor. But I think the only way we win is like twinning laundry R&D. Can I mark Benhar? Do you mind? I like dirty laundry archive. D, how's it going? I missed your thing last night. Hopefully it went well. I don't know if we do it. Yeah, I think we want to force a spin pop and then just C2 on R&D. I don't know how to do it. I think I'm just going to do undo turn. Why'd that not work? Oh, it did. Very good. We might get a spin pop here. I think Daria's been able to manage the top of the deck. Okay, so now I'm really, really worried for B1001. So I think we'll just check server 15 and then run server 14. Sorry, run R&D. 14 in it. It's a Bladderwort? Okay, I don't care. We only have like 1 or 2 runs in us before we actually like just straight up die. 2 Bladderworts. Like this takes 3 cards at our hand. Yeah, we have no more runs. We have to win here. Close. Funny enough, the Amani Sanai is causing us to survive. It went excellent. I'm actually a little glad you missed it because the set is so much better now. Like this makes it easier to survive into Bladderworts. Eventually we will die to Bladderworts, but we probably can just trash the Bladderworts if we need to. Resing a maze, cool. So 1 Bladderwort will connect. That means that server 12 is like almost definitely the Spin Doctor, is my assumption. The problem here is like we have no way to break any server besides hoping that the outside of HQ doesn't end the run for some reason. But otherwise we just can't run anything. We totally mismanaged our deck. You get to see something more complete. Very good. Yeah, I played that like absolutely a clown. Feels bad. Maryland shuffled, okay. We did see the top card of the deck. I think it was Maryland. MCA. Crypto Crash. Okay, actually this is sick for us. You need to bounce the Banhar. Why don't you bounce the Banhar? Oh wait, we had a crew. We could have trashed that. Yeah, we have crew into R&D. Hold on. So the problem is we're tagged. So if we run R&D, we can see 3 cards. We can see a single card. Or we can do like credit past turn. The issue is we're going to lose 2 cards in hand. So we either have to win now or not. But the problem is, like, again, stupid federal fundraising that we're not trashing for some reason. So it might make sense just to do credit, run HQ. I just think the federal fundraising, because it's gone uncontested, I don't know if the hand has anything in it. We know there's an oppo in hand. That could be this oppo. But we're going to die to 2 Bladderworts very slowly. One of these is going to fire guaranteed. Maryland shuffled? Yeah, but Maryland shuffled. Wait, did he do the federal fundraising first or after? There's no way he did it first. Oh, he did federal fundraising and then shuffled. Oh, the fuck? Oh, really? How's it going? Yeah, that's weird. I think we're going to just bet it all on black and just run R&D. It's either we win or we flatline. All right, good game. Yeah, it's no. Yeah, we could have played that a lot better than we did. That's not great. Oh, it's regular. Not even spin doctor. Worth a shot? I think so. Hey, good game. Next game. Yeah, so what did we do wrong there? We did a lot. It's unfortunate these going through like really warps the game in a very meaningful way. So like scoring the first one out. That's why I do think like decks are playing Boomerang and Botchless right now. People are teching into them, but it's like, it's relatively important. For us to be able to get through a ping, it's actually really difficult really early. It's either Amaku in a couple runs, or it's like you need this guy and then you need to take a tag, and like if you take a tag on a ping, you're in a really bad spot if you want to crew through one of these. It was the maze too, and I think using the compilation for the maze is an option we could have had. We took the card out of HQ, which might not have mattered. We actually never even took more than one tag. Dari, good game. Pain. Yeah, no, halfway through the game I realized I didn't take my labor rates. I thought the Ashen was in the deck for a long time, and so at that point I'm like, okay, I just got to full send it and hope. Stargate. I'll take the tags if I can Stargate. Let's do another one. That took me a bit. Love a Stargate. Yeah, I'm a big fan of Stargate. I've been really struggling with this version of the deck. Prof. Now I really want to Stargate. This hand's great. This hand's really good. The deck only has like 2 Banhearts. Ice Destruction can be good into Prov. I'm assuming this is Trap Prov. We've definitely played against Ducklin playing Prov before, but I imagine we're just going to, same thing, like at some point just eat a, what's it called, a Checkers and be in a bad spot. What's your favorite Stargate? Mine's Atlantis. I like SG1. I haven't seen that much Atlantis. It's my Daredevil Hosh because I'm just playing cards I like to some degree. You got the MU for it, right? Like +2 MU. Okay. So some turns we don't run, some turns we do run. We generally don't run if there's not an advanced thing. Like it's really weird. Oh, with Hoshika you want to run. This is where I get so the Prob matchup gets me. It's like, you want to run every turn. So we could just rip one of these. If it's a Urtica, we take 3. I think there's some amount of like Vigs in this deck, which like if a Vig gets rezzed, it's totally fine. We could also just set up. I'm fine with setting up. Ooh, that's fun. So if we don't run, you can't score out of 4-2 largely. Blank your ID and play the matchup. We'll be running a bit. Okay, so that's probably the upgrade. Yeah, I don't know how to make a good decision here. If this is an Urtica, we can take 4. If it's a Checkist, we take 3 tags. This is actually for a really good eye for an eye with this hand though. So that's like kind of fun. I actually want to put this nowhere, I think. So I think we just run server 1. There's a case for sculpting your hand down to raindrops, SS, SF, and hoping to hit the Urtica. Yes. If we're really worried about the Urtica, we would just run. But we'll see what the advancement is. This is going to be a Checkist. Yeah, this is what happens. So we just have to play on 3 tags. I think it'll be fine. Oh, now we can't play eye for an eye. The SEP cards are so frustrating. Holloman, okay. Well, maybe we die. I think Ducklin's playing damage. So this is a Vig, right? NGO, okay. I mean, probably that. Imagine cards having downsides couldn't be Anarch. I wouldn't say it's Anarch. I want an eye for an eye just to fire Steelskin Strike Fund. But I think we don't do anything here. Like, I think we just do credit, 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 credit. Simply don't be tagged. You can't tell what's going to be on the table. We're coin flipping. I would have been happy if it's Nerdica. It's a lot easier to like draw 3 cards than it is to do anything else. So like, we're just not going to run until she advances something because she can't really afford to advance anything. Draw. Like, whatever. Surprise 3 tags is wild. Yeah, for no money too. It's really wild. Oh, I guess she advanced once. But it's like, I'm not sure what I meant to do. But okay, so now one of these is an agenda for sure. The unadvanced traps can't be that bad for us, can they? Just playing around eye for eye so hard. So we'll see what gets advanced here. If it's a checkist, we don't worry about floating tags. Okay. Clearinghouse, okay. We can float a tag if it's a checkist, we don't care. Flat grid, great. Now we can check everything. Checkist will give us a single tag, it's fine. Spin. Okay. So what goes back? Clearinghouse. Oh yeah, she's clearing Clearinghouse. I remember that last time we played. She's actually playing like the Tracer, the little ice too. Sentry and Rashida. Okay. We get Hosh. If I didn't play Tag Me Lies on Eternal, Seb is less exciting for sure. Oh man, there's so many cards in the bigger card pool Seb would love to have. Okay, so we ran this turn, so we don't run this turn. But actually last time this happened, I do think she was sneaking things out on the table. We have 4 that trashes most everything. I don't care if it's Nerdica. Beal, great. Clearinghouse, great. Fencer, you're the best. Got that in the right order. Fencer, you're the best. Click for credits. We'll just run everything. It's a great turn to pop everything, yeah. Yeah, you do batch trash, which is like the turns that we don't do anything. She can't do anything without advancements, so we don't have to run. Largely. Like maybe Rashida gets through, but you largely don't have to do that much. I wonder if we do eye for an eye here. Like if she doesn't install, okay, that's fine. Hey, Meteor, how's it going? You playing this weekend? Annicam gives us a fair bit of safety, but like there's a chance that we just take a Hoshiko turn off here and we just do like strike fund, credit, credit, credit. We can consider running the Spin Doctor. I think eyeing a 2-card HQ is fun. Yeah, I think if she didn't ice up, we would, especially because our hand was really good. Okay, Vlad Grid. She can score out many things here. So we're assuming that it's Mess and Chesfos, which if she reses for 5 and we lose 3 into it, I think it's okay. We can maybe draw once. Let's draw. Yeah, Leech doesn't really do it. We can try and duck Mess and Chesfo. It's pretty expensive. She's playing Beal. So if we run this, we can end up taking 2 tags. I don't know how bad that is. Let's just like duck a bit under so that if it is a crypto, we're not too bad. This is the deck list of the week. There's Ice Destruction. Amakua, Leech, 3 Crew, 3 Devil Charm. Ooh, Arella. Crypto S? Oh, sick. Yeah, right. Cool. This works with traps. Yeah, our only breaker is Turtle. And we have 1 more Banhart. We lost 1. We got checkist. Okay, she's on 5 credits. So if we force the res here, I think we're relatively okay with it. Only 3 credits, but we have a whole Fencer Fueno waiting to take down Arella. Let's run. Let's see what this is. Oh, we should actually click for a credit. No, that's fine. Yeah, no, we're fine. All good. We have to take a tag and pay 2. I thought we had to pay 4. But if we want to get through a 1 strength ice, we just pay 2. So we'll see if she reses the Mess in the Chesfo. If she does, we'll lose 3 credits. So maybe we could install something, but we need at least 2. Yeah, it's a Mess in the Chesfo. That's fine. If that's a Rashida, that's bad. So it might be a Vig. We haven't made a successful run this turn. We probably should, but then it turns on Prov. So I think we just do draw, credit, credit. We can run HQ. I think if she has an agenda, it goes in server 3 though. Fueno though. Fueno's annoying. So say that it's a 4-2 and she gets a credit on it, then she can do credit. She can't actually, oh, she could score it out with remastered. That's fine. I'm assuming she pops this and then we don't actually have to pay for Fueno. I'm assuming we pay for Fueno. Oh, she's letting us have it. So this advancement actually matters. Oh, she advanced the Mess in the Chesfo, but of course. Our goal is to destroy the Mess in the Chesfo. The problem is that we have to lose 3 credits, but it's not 3 credits and end the run. That's still an issue for us. So now at least we can run one more time. So I'll run HQ to see the card. Could be a pop-up. It'd be pretty disastrous. Spin. Okay, that's why. We get our Hosh flip. That's worth it. So she didn't advance a card in server 3. Just clicking for 3. Okay. So we have Devil Charm. We have no Amakua yet. We haven't got our money up. Hey, Cephalopod, how's it going? So kind of difficult. This is where like I'm struggling with getting the Annicam down. But we have all of this. Like our running should be pretty good. So she can score the Rella, no problem. Ooh. We have a Paladin in the list, right? We have no Paladin. Interesting. I think Leech Crew is probably the way. I just think we need to weave in and out here with Hoshiko. We know that she's on tag punishment, so we should keep this. Ashen we don't need for a while. Twinnings are only multi-axis. Devil Charm goes pretty hard. We do have Leech set up though. I think we'll get rid of the other Leech. Maybe not. Vig, okay, fine. We'll pinhole the Vig if we think it's necessary. But this card is like, with Arella, it's a fair bit better. She can res it because she was on 0, which is wild. But this is just a pad campaign. Like, we don't need to overextend into this. The fun thing is if she does like advance it, then we pinhole it. And the pinhole is free and the Fencer Fueno makes it cheap. So we can run this turn. We're allowed to, and we should with Hoshiko. So at a minimum, we'll run Archives. If this is a Vasilisa, we end up taking a tag, which is not too bad. We need to find like a Dirty Laundry. Oh, that's good. We'll play that. And then we'll run Archives. Maybe we won't this turn because we have to do it last click. Yeah, we'll pay 1 for Fencer Fueno because you just like kick the Rella issue. Sorry, the Ubiquitous Vig issue. Oh, she advanced this? She advanced it. Okay. Advancing Vig is like pretty rough because not only is that your scoring server, you're spending a click and a credit, and next turn you get a credit back. Like paying money to gain money is difficult because it's money in an action. I wonder if this is an Annicam window. I'll hope it is. We still have 26 cards. I really wanted, we really could have used a Lagu. Fencer will pay 1. Hoshiko is fine. Right, because the longer she keeps the Vig, like the more time that her server is not doing anything, and we're pretty okay with that. Okay, that's the spin in hand, so that's the final spin. There's a chance keeping this pinhole for a better time is more important, right? Because like we know she's on Clearinghouse. Oh, now she has to build another server. Awkward. All right, Leech Crew can get there. We can get through 3 Strength Ice so far. We want to be able to get through 4 Strength Ice. So I think we'll run Archive, see where the advancement goes, and then run server 12. If she advances the Vig, then we'll pinhole it. If she advances this, who knows? Okay, she advances the Vig. So we'll have to try and pinhole it. I don't know if this could be actually. This is probably Rashida. I don't know if this is a good run. Maybe it's a Hollowman. But I think she would Hollowman R&D. I don't know why she'd build a server. Imagine you need 1 more credit on the winning turn and you remastered onto your Vig. Oh, piss. That's bad. So either we can do the Devil Charm and it saves us a tag. Yeah, I think that's fine. Okay, she has no money, so we have to just make sure that we can trash this Vig. Rashida for 1 is fine. And then we just bankrupt her. Oh, if Fossil fork the Spin Doctor. I think it's, you'd have to have a lot of confidence. Excuse me. I think you can be pretty confident that we're not going to go for the Spin Doctor because otherwise we would just run it. We not pinhole. So it's like, it's a weird thing. I've been in that situation where you feel like you need to do it, but it's, that was a really good 2-for-1 for us. We still need to get through this mess in Cheswa, which is difficult. All right, we've Annicammed. We can run HQ here. She has a couple unknown cards. Leech counters are really valuable, but card draw is a bit more valuable for us. I think we can run HQ here. It's fine. We know nothing in hand. Clearinghouse. Okay, good to know. Eye time. I don't want to float a tag last click because we know she's on tag punishment. Maybe it's only like shipment, but I don't know. Now we just don't run for a bit. Like we take our turn off. Unfortunately, we have a buy a bands, so we draw. Okay. We definitely need a crew. We have 2 more. This is Decklist of the week. Yeah, Lockman how's it going? So the Devil Charm is actually not that important because we're at 4 strength with Leech. This maybe is Rashida that puts her back in the game. Maybe we just put down a Lagu and click for credits. I don't know. I feel like I don't have a lot of money in this deck. Every so often you get a vile spin doctor hit when Corp forgets about that mode on pinhole. Yeah. In person, I think it happens a bit more. Okay, so if she doesn't advance this, okay, she advances this. So we still have to figure out how to break this. So we can buy a band's archives. I think we do. If she gets an advancement, if it's a clearinghouse, we're not in any worry. Cool. We'll draw 2. Wait, were we meant to just like Amakua run this down? Fencer Fun is so cute with buy bands. So to break this, we need just another credit. The problem is if it's the clearinghouse that we expect it is, we need many more credits. So what we could consider doing is just like raindropsing something. There's also like a really weird line. Yo, Wenagon, how's it going? Is that you can actually use the remastered on the Mesta Chespo. So if we just like raindrops this and she uses the Mesta Chespo counter and we come back. I'm assuming she wouldn't because it's wasted value. But we could just raindrops HQ here, and if she reses, she can't really score out unless she uses the remastered. The raindrops is actually not a bad card though, because it plays around crypto, but actually, have we seen a crypto from her yet? If this is a Vasilisa, we can just break it. Yeah, we'll raindrops HQ. We just need to be able to have like 6 or so credits. If we steal an agenda here in a really good spot. The heck? I thought, did she just shuffle that in and draw it? Was that the mandatory draw? That must have been the mandatory draw. 100% that's a mandatory draw. That's wild. That is a strange situation to find yourself in. So if it's an agenda, we can run this. This costs us 3, and then we can break 1, 2, and then we can access on 5 to steal. Or we can assume it's a clearinghouse. So I'm going to run HQ again. If we see the clearinghouse, we'll run the remote. If we don't see the clearinghouse, come on. Any other card. Literally any other card. I'm assuming it's a clearinghouse. If we click through credit, it's really, really bad if this is a crypto crash because we lose all our money to Hoshiko. Wenagon, are you playing this weekend? Uh-oh. Oh. Uh-oh. She advanced and she undid it. So she's just purging. That like kind of tracks. It makes me think this is the clearinghouse for sure. We're on a single pinhole. We actually could just like value labor rights here and try and get the pinhole back in. It's like we have still every strike fund and 1 strike fund and 2 steel skins. You're in the America spot. Okay, cool. I thought you might be playing on Friday because of your West Coastness. So we can't just like, yeah, I swear you said APAC. That's I'm surprised. I'm just gonna labor rights for the pinhole. So we lost Crew, Copulation, and Mystic. So we definitely want back in. We want the pinhole, and I think we just want the Crews. Okay, we drew a steel skin. If we run, she gets another advancement. She can get to 4 advancement to do 4 meat damage. We can also just do Devil Charm run. If we run this here, we lose 3. So we're on 3 credits. We do Devil Charm Break Break. We're on 2-1 credits. And then we have Fencer Fueno, 1 credit. That's not enough. I said credit. Well, I just 1 little credit. We'll just take money. We'll hope she go out. Playing after a full day of work is not great. That's true. You can apply for time off in area, say winning APAC. All right, we drew 2 cards. We lost a range drops. We got a laundry. Okay, last spin doctor. And she didn't push this. She could have scored if it's an agenda. So this has to be, basically it has to be the thing we don't want it to be. The one that hurts us with meat damage. So we just want to chase out the last spin doctor before we chase it out. Spin doctor is really awkward to chase out in this matchup on the basis that we don't make a successful run. All right, so we're going to run. We could Dirty Laundry Archives as a start. Let's see where the advancement goes. Any chances of Urtica? There's a chance, but we're fine. We have enough cards. She can always remastered, and we have to make sure that doesn't blow us out. So we're going to run Archives, hoping this chases out the Spin Doctor, because otherwise we should be running the Spin Doctor. Okay, that worked. So agendas are going back in. Otherwise, 2 agendas even. Urtica weak to Annicam? No, if we die, we die. 0, how's it going? Like, if it's lethal, it's lethal. So she didn't advance the Urtica. Or sorry, the Checkist or whatever. Oh, we really should get the twinning down. Too late now. So this is the Urtica. So we lost the Laborites, we lost the Eye for Eye, and we lost the Wildcat Strike. So the Laborites is an important loss. We have one more, we have to be careful. We will trash this because it's a Hollowman storage unit. It means that we don't get our Amakua, which is a bit of a bummer, but yeah, that's fine. She advanced to that. No, there was a free advancement. So we have Hashiko now successfully. So I think we just run Archives twice. We actually might have to consider not using the Lagu anymore. Because we have one more Laborites, and if we whiff that Laborites, we have no more recursion for the rest of the game. Because we already know where our, what's it called, is our Ashen. If we have the Laborites in hand, then we have to play around other stuff. Okay, so this basically has to be the clearinghouse. And now we have no recursion. So if we trash that, we can start like influence counting. These are 3 a pop, so 3, 6. Urtica 7, 8. I have no ideas what decks to play. Maybe just Old Faithful. Don't you have to like submit like really soon? It gives you value though. It does. I thought you have to submit pretty soon. Okay, let's just build up win condition on centrals. We'll play Us Steel Skin. Charge the twinning. Okay. We have Baya Fueno, which is good. We have Dirty Laundry. We don't really want to run this turn. It's today. Yeah, I thought that sounds about right. So this crew means that we can trash this for 2 credits instead of breaking it for 3 credits. And I think we'll just do credit here. We'll throw out the Annicam. You want a Goofy Obelisk? I think we're going to play some Neurospike after this. I think I just want to get some more Neurospikes to prepare for the weekend. But maybe, unless you're offering Wenegon. I submitted my deck list just now because I don't want to risk making the deadline. Yeah, I'm not going to trash here because it's likely, well, not likely, but it could be the Laborites. All right, so now Vlad grid into something. So we probably need to run this. If it's an Urtica, we want it to knock out this hand. So if anything, we can do Baya Bands. The problem with Baya Bands is if we have to draw before we access. But right now we need to trash at least 7 credits worth of stuff. So if we run this, we lose 3, we're on 7. Then we Devil Charm Crew, we're on 5. And then we have Fencer Fueno plus everything else. The most damage we can take from an Urtica is 1, 2. Oh shit, we can take a lot of damage from Urtica. Because Urtica, you can slide over the counters from shipment from Vladislavsk. So if it is an Urtica, we can take 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 damage. I don't think we can play around that. We could by doing draw, draw. We could play around it by doing draw, draw. Because Urtica does 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 plus the remastered edition. Otherwise, this is 5 damage with Clearinghouse, which is what it looks like, because I think we saw the Clearinghouse in hand. So either we risk the Urtica, or we just do draw, draw, run. It's 8 with remastered. I think it's 7 with remastered, because it's 4, 5, 6, and then remastered is the 7th. It's 2 plus the advancements plus. Oh, yeah, you're right, because of Prov. Oh, yeah, because of Prov. Prov counter, yeah, huge, huge, huge. Thanks, good save, good save, good save. So if that's the case, we can Steel Skin. It gives us +2, and then we're at 7. Then we can do draw run. Yeah, whatever. We just want to keep the Laborites in the deck. So this does 1, 2, 3, 4. So now we can just run this. We could sure gamble first now. We'll just run it. I think we have enough money, right? So again, Message Esso, we're on 7. We have to trash this, we're on 5. And we have Fencer Fueno, so we can trash everything that matters. B-Bands gives us some extra cards in hand. It does, but if I draw our Laborites and we lose it, it's really bad. Oh, we shouldn't have Devil Charmed, actually, sorry. We should just use the leech, let's be honest. Oh, no, we have to Devil Charm. Yeah, that's fine. It's all good. So we're on 5. Ice is gone. So whatever she advances, it doesn't make a huge difference. We're pretty sure the innermost is the Clearinghouse and the outermost is the upgrade. It's a Checkist. Fuck. Okay, so she has a Clearinghouse in hand. So she's going to try and kill us. I think we just eye for an IHQ here and access 4 cards. Oh, we can't eye for an eye because of stupid Checkist. It's a flat. We can't eye for an eye because of the text. Why, Seb? Okay. So if she has, I think she's playing, what's it called? End of the line. If she has end of line Mindscaping, that costs 5. So we lose to that. That's some sick eye for an eye tech. So what can we do? She can score from hand. So I think we just like swipe hand. I think we dirty laundry HQ. She can res a wraparound. That'll be bad. We can sweep HQ. Yeah, we can sweep HQ. We can see 3. But if we see like a combo piece, we can't do much to it. I wonder if we buy a bands. I don't think we do. I think we just dirty laundry HQ. What can she res here? If it's a ping, we're still through. Yeah, let's just go HQ. She can't res a Starlit Knight. No res. Okay, she needs her credits. So we'll see 3. Stoke, sick. Stoke, sick. Clearinghouse. Yeah, we knew about that. So does she have the combo? Buy less is to run a remove a tag. Yeah, I know. But we need the money. So now actually Mystic makes the buy much more playable. This will drop us down to... That's fine. So we can run back. Now she needs exactly these cards to be the combo. We also got the agendas out of hand, so she's not likely to be able to ship in from whatever. So that's okay. We can buy a bands to remove a tag and install a card. That's okay. Why is there a card in archives? Yeah, we'll do it. She threw out a couple agendas. Running R&D might make more sense, but she can definitely rest one of these ice. Leech, buy a band, so we'll remove a tag. Install a card paying 1 fewer. I mean, probably the charm, right? Oh, nice. All right, weird. I was not expecting that hand. I'm at GG. Any tag punishment in hand? Yeah, all the Stokes. I wonder why Stoke is in this deck. I didn't see any synergy with Stoke. Oh, maybe with Arella, right? Yeah, with Arella, there's Stoke synergy. I was convinced. He's so good. Hey, SRN. Well, for what it's worth, like, this is the thing that is so weird to like wrap anyone's mind around. Like, it's a really hard thing to do, is this sort of play that she made forces us into this situation, right? Like, she put us in a situation where we really, really needed to consider running. And then the problem is if we do run into the trap and it is the checkist, our only play is to run HQ. Hey, thanks, you too. Like, I've been in that situation too, but like sometimes your trap forces your opponent to do the right thing. Like when we're on 4 tags and you have 5 cards in hand and you've been like just drawing and filtering with Spin Doctor for the last little bit, like our only line is to run HQ and hope. Ideally we would eye for either, but like obviously we can't because it has weird text on it. But it's a really strange thing too. It's like I know I've made plays where it's like, oh wait, that play that forces the game, forces the runner to do the thing that they should be doing, which is like run centrals. And then, you know, if you're holding 6 points, that can happen. So yeah, sometimes it'd be like that. There's one card. Oh no, because we trashed the other card. It was Clearinghouse, so we don't know what else is in hand. Weird. Okay. Yeah, that deck is I don't know. I think I need to play it more. Last card was a data loop. Declan, good game. Yeah, we were pretty sure that was the Clearinghouse. Then we had to play around Urtica. We didn't see any tag punishment from you, but like we took a lot of tags. That's for sure. Or what's his name will just do that. Wild. Okay, we're gonna play something. It's like 10:20. We don't have a lot of time, but luckily we can get a lot of games in by playing everyone's least favorite archetype. Ooh, is Cancel playing assets? I thought Cancel wanted to play assets. Yeah, Amani PE. Oh man, with Odoroshi. This is Urtica. Fantastic. I think this is an archetype that maybe we should play this, but I haven't seen enough people do this sort of thing. Actually, it's like what Lady Duckland is doing, is you build some garbage on the table like Urtica Cypher with a lot of advancements, and then you put Holloman on top of it. It protects the Holloman for what it's worth, so then you can use Holloman to like fast advance a viral weaponization, I imagine. Like that's the problem. It protects it for 1 turn unless there's a pinhole, but then from there, things get really, really bad. Well, hopefully. Otherwise, you can just trash the Holloman from 1 turn. Tattoo, Vampiranasa, Sadaka, Odoroshi, Saisentan. I'm a big Anemone fan. This looks pretty mean. We're on Prana. Of course we are on Prana. We're on a Mani Sanai, which I'm a bit surprised. This is like a wage workers type slot. It's 4 influence. Maybe this really matters. I love my garbage. Yeah, no, it does protect your cards. Like it's how you get your wage workers on the table. Or it's not wage workers, sorry, you haul them in. 3 Hokusai, just the least interesting damage is going to happen card. I swear it's not Grinder. Odoroshi's really mean with untrashed Urticas. Yeah, for sure. Well, you just Blake it for 3. Like that's the thing is they get 3 advancements and sometimes they can bluff you, but it's a 2 strength sentry you break for 3 without a breaker. That is not awful. Like that's not terrible. Generally a lot of 2 strength sentries you Blake for less than 3, but you also need to install a breaker. The problem is like you generally get your breaker down anyways before you're face checking because of things like Sai Santan. So like the not needing your breaker part is kind of a wash on this card. Like you generally are in situations where you run into this, but then you get into situations where like they start advancing other cards that are traps, like, or not traps, and you don't know if you want to touch them. I've been warming up to Anemone more and more. It's a really, really good card. Anemone is really messed up. Especially with the House of Knives and Fuji's and setups and Regenesis to Poison Archives. Like it's just a good card. It's just like also Grinder though. A lot better into Deep Dive, which there's still a fair bit of Deep Dive I think right now. Amani Viral, bounce to hand, delete. Yeah, that's true. When the turn ends, you're Amani the card back to hand and just delete it. That's very funny. 2 cost, tax 3 is a trade I take pretty much anytime. As the corporation, it's not terrible. It's really not that bad. Hey John, this archetype is why Netrunner is not more popular. No, not at all. I don't think so. For what it's worth, like this sort of archetype actually makes Netrunner a lot popular to a lot of folks. Like a lot of folks like playing this. I do think maybe that's a problem that playing against this is not fun. That's clearly where your comment comes from, I imagine. But like Personal Evolution is just a darling to so many people because they like doing traps. They like having their secrets and their, their gremlinry. But for what it's worth, if you don't feel like you can counterplay against this, it's maybe miserable. I'm so happy that Vampire Nasa is seeing play. I'm not. I really don't. I'm not. I don't understand this card. So hear me out. Vampire Nasa. 4 strength, pretty good. 7, reasonable res cost. Ideally, you're resing this for 5 on face check. It's also the code gate that does damage, which is pretty rare. There's not a lot of those. So like having your sentry breaker doesn't make you safe. But I don't understand how you're meant to break this. Like the only way in the format right now to break this cost effectively is like Turbine Buzz Up. And that's it, right? Like Unity is still a pain in the ass. If you're Fizzariming through this, it still sucks. But I feel like cards like this, where admittedly you don't have to break all the subroutines, but you also have to break all the subroutines in a lot of situations. This is the one that you don't have to break, but all these other ones you probably should be breaking. And that is like an ice that I don't understand too much. It reses for 5, and then most people break it for like 6 or 7. And unless you're playing the rig that I think a lot of people are dooming about, Oilers on stalls 2 credits break, yes. But Oiler in this matchup, like your simul chips are actually really quite important in the Jinteki PE matchup, that you don't often have the liberty to be able to simul chip your Oiler back on turns that it matters, right? Like PE, you need to touch a lot of cards. It's not like I'm going to go Oiler. Maybe you can deep dive, but that's where, this deck is also pretty okay into deep dive. Crew breaks it for 2 credits and a fair bit of support, like 2 credits and, a lot of leech counters and or something else. But Crew breaks every ice for 4 cards. I don't think that makes ice more reasonable. Doing damage to flatlining someone is so much fun. Hey, our steadies, how's it going? This deck looks so much fun. Like a scrubber like me. I think a lot of people love the damage. They think it's really, really fun. The story archetype is what a lot of people gravitate when they first learn about it. Yes, the fact that you don't need ice, that you can put your things on the table. And it's also the archetype, like if you're playing Urtica, like you can just win games against players that you don't think you deserve to win games against, right? Like sometimes it is just that coin flip where you can just install a card, keep advancing until it's on 6, and they have to decide, is it Clearinghouse or an Urtica? Like that is a legitimate way to win the game. So I think a lot of also newer players like that because it makes, you feel clever about it. And a lot of like jaded players call it a coin flip, which maybe is what it is. My friend who I'm introducing to the game immediately imprinted on PE. Yes. I think having an archetype like this is very important for a lot of people. Sounds like runner propaganda, not wanting to pay more than 4 credits to break a piece of ice. Yeah, it's weird. I feel like paying 5 credits to break a piece of ice is weird. Like it's a lot. And I don't know if the game is better if ice just gets more expensive. The more I play Netrunner, the less I'm convinced that more expensive ice to break makes the game more interesting or better, right? Like obviously weird word. Like Braun is a huge outlier for sure. But like Braun has other ways to deal with it. Like not all the subroutines matter. You can click through it. Like Braun has some built-in counterplay that feels like you can interact with. I would argue on a lot of board states, you're not allowed to let these subroutines fire. You can, and sometimes you will, but you shouldn't. The same way you can't let some Braun subroutines fire. What's the role of ice if it doesn't make scoring windows? Well, ice should have scoring windows and I should have subroutines. But I think if the game has less interaction in it overall, that's less interesting. I think I'm more a fan of like the Corp's game plan to be like, look at the matchup that we just played. For what it's worth, I don't think Duckland had a lot of money to res a lot of ice, but like the existence of ice, what the ice subroutines do, but then the context of everything else that's going on in the game makes me and constricts my plays and makes me required to make plays in different ways. It's not just like, oh, whatever deck has more economy can break the ice a bit better. I hear about scoring windows. If they don't have money, then you have a scoring window. That's largely true, but I don't think the ice has to be 6 credits, 7 credits to break for that to be the case. I do think upgrades are a big part of this. How good runner econ is, I think they can afford some higher break costs. I don't know. I don't think this is like a super defensible stance. I don't think it is. I think it focuses more on like, just put a lot of econ in your deck. Who knows? Killing a Netrunner is so different than most games. It's appealing. Yes, it is appealing because it feels like y'all are sharing the space that you die in, as opposed to it's weird. Netrunner is like exploring the space together, and you can build a playground. Sometimes your playground has like, you know, a spike trap in it, and you're going to make them run into it. But at the end of the day, they ran into it usually. I never tried Assets yet, but I feel like I was so gremlins to play NEH style stuff. Maybe I'll get over it, but it's kind of all random feeling. Assets, not so much. I think Assets actually has a lot. Like if you play Assets by just putting everything on the table and saying like these cards are more expensive than you can trash, yes, then it's all random and you will get rolled by anyone who plays like 2 missed bones or has a solid economy or knows what they're doing. You can still win games because a lot of people just don't deal with Assets because they're like, I don't want to deal with that. And then they focus on winning as opposed to making you not win. A lot of times, and this is the bummer, is playing against Assets, your goal, like my goal in that NEH game that we played in game 1, if you saw that, it was not to win, it was to stop our opponent from winning. And that is a hard thing for newer players a lot of times. You have to take your medicine, you have to just trash the assets so that deck falls apart because that deck doesn't have anything going on besides assets. Now your deck might not have the money to do that, so maybe that's not a line and then you should probably just send it centrals. But I've seen that come up a lot of times with new players where it's like they put 3 assets on the table, they didn't ice R&D, I'm running R&D turn 1. But at the end of the day, you don't win the game by seeing, 17 cards. You will lose if you don't deal with the table. So it's like different, but it's not all random. I think the right things on the table, the threats, things like Opal Research and Tag Punishment and the B1001. B1001 is a really cool card for that sort of thing because you really have to plan your whole turn. Without big ice, there's no way to have late game corpse, so slower decks simply could not exist. Sorry, how's it going? I kind of disagree. I don't think infinite scaling ice is particularly fun or interesting. But I think corporations do have interesting play patterns into mid to late games. We've seen it. Oftentimes it's more about putting more of just the medium cost ice. But like, I don't think it's exactly true. I think if you're playing into Turbine Shaper, yes, that's the case. But there's a lot of other decks that like have a limited shelf life. Like the deck we played in the Decks of the Week, like in the late game, it's going to have problems. It runs out of steam and then has to Ashen and then you have a window. But this is like not going to build I think a late game state where it's going to be a huge problem. The companions are messed up though. It's a lot of money for a single click. That's for sure. Do we try this? I think I have to read the write-up. Look at potential attack surfaces, several sprung up. Lat Rise and Revolver to break ice, very efficient but finite breaker. When was this tournament? Who knows? Maybe this was before the rotation or the ban. Lat's money is finite. The more runs you force out of him, the more he will be urged to use his cards for credits rather than his hit points. Yes, this is a big thing I've learned playing PE, is that you really force them to make the hard decision between cards in hand and cards for credits. Lat doesn't have drip to make money to be forced to play cards. Yes. This means that cards like Hokusai Grid are quite good, especially because Lat's preferred answer to assets is Parisha, which only funds asset trashes but not upgrades, while grids don't work on me. Finally, this deck I chose not to attack Revolver's finitude, but its efficiency. Odoroshi is one of the last few vestiges of ice that cost a lot more to break than deal with than it does to res. It has a hidden cost of use of requiring something on the board to interact with. Hence, we play 3 copies of Urtica, which runners intuitively do not trash, because, well, if I know it's there, why would I run it? And once Odoroshi has plonked down 3 advancement counters on one, trashing it and accessing it becomes a much rougher proposition. Insofar as this is a grinder deck, I'm trying to run you out of cards. Oh, this is not going to be healthy. But that doesn't mean we don't score agendas. Quite the contrary. Viral Weaponization is a whopping 5 damage to the dome. And when you get to combine this with Holloman, Prana, and Amani Sanai, you have a chi drain sequence going to the old Yangshi vampires can only dream about. Okay, so this is not trying to be healthy. Council builds really, really cool decks. This is Yeah, we probably shouldn't play this. On that note, I'm going to play Azmari combo, which I think we should see a bit before the weekend, before we maybe see it even more. Really cool. I also think with rotation for Dawn Corps are losing more than runners, so hopefully Ice can get a bit better than it is now. I think they are. I think Corps are definitely losing a lot more than runners. So all I'm saying is I think the exciting part of Netrunner is running. It is. The exciting part of Netrunner is doing those interactions, touching cards, exposing stuff, getting that rip-off HQ R&D 100%. I think if corporations are not in a good spot, bringing the break cost of all ice up, just say every ice costs 1 more to break, I don't think makes a more interesting game, even if it makes the win rates more at parity, right? Like, I think the Netrunner I like is a Netrunner where you're running a fair bit. And that is the issue, where I run into things like, oh, that's a 12 strength logjam. What do you want me to do about it? For what it's worth, back in the day, that wasn't always the case. Like, you sat back with your Caddy Jones, and some games you only ran like, you know, X times. The problem is I think the games where you run a lot are generally a lot more fun. You have a lot more interaction points. And that's what I worry about. When there's a Vampire Nas on R&D and a Vampire Nas on HQ, like, you probably shouldn't be running for singles. It just doesn't make sense. And the decks I like to play are decks that run for singles. We probably shouldn't play this toxic deck anyways, Mari combo. I think I have one in the log already. I've been playing a fair bit and testing. We're so back. Yeah. Okay. So you probably should know what this is. Apologies if you don't like this, but this is a list we're definitely going to see on this weekend. Did great at the showdown. I think what's really, really frightening is if you get too used to this list, I would bet money that 1 of 2 things is going to happen. 1 of 3 things. Let's make it as obvious as possible that one of these is going to be correct. Firstly, this deck will just get played and it's fine. I think a lot of people who are having classically played this archetype will play this archetype. I think this archetype is pretty good. That being said, I think people now have a better understanding than ever how to play into this. And I think people are going to tech into this. I don't think any competitive player hasn't had, like, they probably had to figure out how to beat this matchup if they're bringing their deck to the CBI if they want to compete, because this is a deck that you have to figure out how to beat. And it can be tricky. Sometimes it's just a 5-turn game and you only see like 15 cards. Sometimes you can just lose. That being said, I do think a very important thing for folks who are playing this deck on this weekend is to change some cards. I think always the time that I've seen this deck do well is when there is some sort of disruption and when the expectation is kind of, you know, inverted to some extent. So this version of the deck is playing a lot of tech against Anarchs, specifically things to deal with, you know, like magnets. Really good. Maybe play more. But the idea is that like Botchus only goes so far. The Klavetnik came back in, deals with Banhar and Crew, really good into Anarchs. Wraparound is incredibly overperforming in the modern meta. That is a card in the last matchup where we found a Wraparound. We're really sweating. It's a really hard card to deal with. Our deck doesn't have a Fracture. That will be 7 strength. That is really, really tall. And this version is also on Decree Mill. Sometimes hard to deal with. You have to close the game out really quickly. But most importantly, this deck is on 2 copies of Neurospike. Not on Jupestad. Other versions can sneak the Jupestad in. We're going to see versions that might like get some influence to get some sort of click compression, like red level clearance to install, so that when you think that they can't double haul them and they can do something, or a seamless launch. I have no doubt like seamless launch could show up in this deck to be able to like surprise runners who are like, oh, calculating that you need exactly 10 credits on a single advancement on this board state to flatline me. And then like they somehow skirt that. I think all of this sort of stuff is pretty common. You might have issues in an open deck list, as a combo deck like this does, but I do think this is an archetype that you need to see. It's the deck that killed me last weekend. Yep, that sounds about right, doesn't it? Coming to the realization I've only played IDs that NSG has printed. Oh, you haven't played some of the old FFG IDs? They're really fun, Jealous Shots. You're missing out on some stuff. You're trying to get into some games of Sports Metal before it rotates. It's really, really fun. Writes down notes for commentary tomorrow. I was queuing up, but now, what's meant to be the fun for Corp? Is it the operations like End of Line and Fast Advance? I think when I play Corp, my enjoyment comes from face down cards, putting the runner in awkward positions, scoring out things like scoring agendas feels good and the agendas having good effects. And then this is done by, you know, getting them good with some ice, like rezzing some ice where the subroutines matter, keeping them out, trading tempo. I don't know. I just want to push myself forward. Like, I don't enjoy the Corp games where I install advance my ice. Like that sort of slow methodical glacier plays, not for me, which is going to like, you know, totally paint how I'm talking about things. Corp fun is forks, runner fun is spoons. Not too far off, honestly. We'll get some games in with this. Montreal folks are grinding. I think both of these folks are playing this weekend. I'm not the best player at these sort of Azmari decks. I've only played like maybe a dozen games. Server restart at 11:30. Do not start new games. Oh, that's in an hour. We can do this. Cool, Kit. That's an interesting matchup. Kit needs to produce a coder. Whether that's going to be something expensive with Spark of Inspiration, that's one option. Whether it's going to be moving ice around with things like, what's the name of that? Inversificator? That's really cool. Kit might be running Burner. That's one of the good disruption cards that really deals with HQ and takes cards out of hand like Punitive or the very important Neurospike. Now this hand, it's not bad. I think if we mulligan into this hand, we could deal with it. Ideally, we always want an end of the run ice, hopefully a wraparound. And wraparound's really good into Kit, mind you. 7 strength code gate, very, very good into Kit if you don't install a Fractor. Lobisomi is technically a Fractor for some reason. It is printed on there. It does break barriers, but it also is a Fractor. We want to open with a Rashida. This hand is a fair bit worse. At least here we can do like, we'll start with Predictive Planogram. We just want to fly. We're probably never going to ice R&D. We might ice HQ if we really respect something like Burner or a DJ Fenris coming down, but we want to try and win the game by like turn 6. I like only look for a deck after seeing an ID in my collection, so I've never proxied IDs. Oh, Jello Shots, there's really good stuff. Ace of Group is so much fun. Rototurret, also really good to have that innermost. So we're going to start with a Predictive. We want to find a Rashida. We'll draw 3. Okay, that's a bummer. So we might take a slow turn here. We could do your Digital Life and then just put a Rototurret on the table. I'm not too worried about discarding a Degree Mill because it's hard to steal early because you need to install a bunch of cards and run archives. That doesn't make a lot of sense. Otherwise, we can protect a Spin Doctor. It'll be a 1 in 5 in HQ. I don't think that's that big of a deal. So I think we'll just do your Digital Life and put Spin Doctor on the table probably. If that's the case, we could do Spin Doctor first, drop to 7, res Spin Doctor, go to 9, your Digital Life. I don't think that extra credit matters. We'll just see if they interact here. So here we can throw out the Degree Mills, Degree Mill, and we'll name event. Nuka, cool. Did Salsa keep? Salsa kept, okay. So they probably have a good hand. The Spin Doctor means we're actually relatively good into Burner, but you don't really want a Burner before, this Burner is totally fine. Losing any of these cards, losing the Rototurret is the worst case. Now, if they put the Degree Mill on top of the deck, they can't do anything. I don't want to Spin Doctor here, but if we lose any of these, it's fine. So Sarievna, Degree Mill, and Holloman. I'm wondering what they're going to do. Sarievna on the bottom, they could put Degree Mill on top of R&D, and if they want to like install a card somehow and run it, they don't have enough clicks, unless they have bio bans. This like last revealed thing is, I think, relatively new, and it's cool. It just reminds you. And so Holloman's on the top, so they know that we have a Degree Mill in hand. I think that's pretty good. So they're going to go trash the Holloman here. We could res the Spin Doctor. We have another Holloman. If they spend a credit, we're pretty fine. Their economy is not fantastic. And we do have Punitive as a real threat. So we lost a Holloman there, but we have a Spin Doctor, so it doesn't really matter. Now we're going to roll. Okay, they're on Versificator. That's an expensive card to come down. We're going to res Spin Doctor before start a turn. There's a small chance that you can always shuffle cards back in with Spin Doctor before we start a turn, but we're always going to res this, so we might as well res it now. All right, we want a top deck Rashida. Beans. Pretty rough start. So we can protect the Holloman with the Rototurret, and then we can get the wraparound in front of it. We don't really need to YDL here. So we'll do new remote. We'll put this in front of it. And then we want to just set up a server soon enough. We need to draw into one of our 2 copies of Neurospike, but this is, I think I've never gone through 2 turns without finding Rashida. Bravado into the remote server. They have no money. So if we res the Rototurret, they show the Rototurret, but otherwise they can't even trash for Rashida here. I reckon they might want to click for a credit first. They at least get a lot of money, but we also get 2 credits off of that. Creative. Okay, they have good money. So they know it's a Holloman. We have the Neurospike. Okay. I wonder if we should have Spin Doctored back there the Planogram. We might have wanted to. Okay, we're going to sudden commandment. Then we can go to YDL. If we had an agenda, we would jam it here. I think we'll just put the wraparound in front of that. We're okay resing this. And then here we can discard something. I think the Klavetnik probably won't matter. We're at the point with double Punitive and 17 credits to 11 that there's a chance that if an agenda gets stolen, we can just go for the double Punitive. We haven't seen Stone Ship so far. No Annicam. I'm not sure where the console is. Probably is Annicam. But they really need to put down a 6 credit breaker. We're really slow. I practiced a matchup with Colin. Ben, how do you think it went? Draw 3. Oh man, this is not good. Sudden. YDL. We have a lot of money. So we can just put another ice in front of here. I think we might like double wraparound. It's really, really good because their breaker is the 6 coster. We can consider icing up R&D, but we're so far ahead up on Punitive. I don't think we really need to. We learned some things. Okay, I'm going to put this up here and we're going to just throw out our code gates. A burner would be pretty bad here. Luckily we have Spin Doctor. Just IA the Degree Mill. I don't want to square the Degree Mill. We need 2 Neurospikes for that to be lethal. The runner 1, good. Thanks for talking as you play. It's informative. Please, Scholar, we definitely want to do that. In this matchup, it's relatively easy because our game plan is straightforward enough. If they trash that, I think we don't want them to trash that. We're going to leave the degree mill in the bin for now. I don't want to shuffle that back in. If they steal it, they're in a bad spot unless they steal 3 points and then steal 3 points down, they lose. So what we want to put back in, I think we want to put 2 sudden commandments. Their money's pretty good. Burner's really good on the key turn. If you can bust the remote, it's very, very good. So we'll just do 2 sudden commandments. We actually probably could do sudden commandment planogram. The thing is, if we do sudden commandment, we don't actually have an event to play. I'll do one of each. That might be wrong. That's fantastic. All right, Reeducation Advance sets up lethal this turn. So they have to either pinhole the Holloman, otherwise for 10 credits, I believe, we res the Holloman, we use Holloman, that's 6. We advance, that's 7, and we play Neurospike, that's 10. As long as we have enough cards in hand, which sometimes Burner can just take cards out of hand to prevent that. But if they can't break it to the server this turn, they lose. Okay, overclock into wraparound. This is why we did this, because wraparound is very expensive, and this is on the outside. So this will be a 7 cost barrier. Now they're breaking a lot of this with house money, and even if they steal this Reeducation, they have to deal with triple punitive. We only have to have 2 of the punitives land. So this is 5 to break, so they probably can't Inversificator that down unless they want to pay 5 every single time. If they want to pay 5 every single time, they're going to run into issues. The outermost is a code gate. Mind you, that's what Kit says, is the first ice you encounter is a code gate for the remainder of this run. An Inversificator says whenever you pass a code gate, or once a turn that you pass a code gate first time, you can move it. So you can always say code gate into the code gate into code gate. And that is good game. And this is what I mean. Like, this deck is, if you can't set up and get money to deal with punitive, it's like, oof, GG, yeah. This is, you just need 10 credits. So we didn't have the fastest start. I feel like we were 2 turns slow. And now we score this, which says when you score this, add any amount of cards back. We want to make sure that we only add 3 cards back, because if the runner can't, this doesn't fire. It's an easy mistake. And now they have no cards in hand, so Neurospike is lethal. Hey, GG. The wraps are super rude. Yeah, and the wraps are like really overperforming in the meta. Thanks, you too. But this is a deck that you definitely need to figure out how to beat. I think the burner, they might have wanted to keep it for a turn like this, because on this turn, that is the turn that we definitely have the, what's it called? The Neurospike. And if we can deny the Neurospike, that actually slows us down a fair bit unless we have another one. That was turn 6. And that was with no Rashidas. That was relatively slow, if you ask me. 7-minute game, yes. And for what it's worth, they only went through, again, 15 of their cards. Like, this is where this deck is like kind of strange. Is that if you don't have the tech, if you don't draw well. Yeah, Radish, how's it going? That's you. Maybe I should have had the burner. That's what I'm saying. I think you wanna hold the burner for this turn. I think tempo burnering is not fantastic. I mulligan, but like if there's agendas, you don't have to deal with them. If it's punitive, it doesn't really matter. I think you keep the burner for this turn. Firstly, because it forces cards out of hand, which sometimes just having not enough cards means I can't kill with the Reeducation. You didn't have a lot of cards, so that didn't matter. But yeah, it's just, you need to get the red thing out of my hand. It buys you a turn for what it's worth. Like then I just shuffle with Spin Doctors in the bottom and we just do it again next turn. It's funny to me that this deck goes untouched by the ban list, considering they have to ban Brain Rewiring, which is kind of the same thing. The thing is, Molt, is that this deck was not good. If you ask me, in the last meta where people were playing Lat with Annicam and Stoneship, this was a bad deck to play. And you saw that. Like, this deck didn't show up at Worlds, and that's because in the last meta, this was just not a good deck. And then the folks who made this deck, as soon as like people, you know, functionally stopped playing the Lat, and now most of the Lat decks are even playing Swift, and Stoneship isn't showing up, this deck just can flatline you. Now, that being said, I don't think this deck is going to perform as well as my guess, unless there's some really cool secret changes, which I think can be possible, as it did in the last showdown, because people will tech into this, whether it's things like, and there's a lot of ways to tech into this. Like, there are a lot of ways. Let's talk about them. No One Home. This is a 1 influence card. It deals with tags into the tag matchups, so the kill any age matchups, and it deals with the net damage matchup. Really, really cool. We saw people play Eye for an Eye, very good with multi-axis, sweep the whole hand, destroy all pieces that do combo. The deck falls apart. Getting to the remote server is really important. I think playing a couple more boomerangs is, it's nice. It's a nice, easy way to contest the remote server. Panel threading is not foolproof, but it can slow down and buy you a turn or two, because they can still do the combo without, mind you, the Holloman. They can just advance the card a couple more times, so you still have to get into the remote server eventually. There's tricks. Burner's really good. But you need to be able to do with it. And if you install like 1 or 2 stone ships, it's not impossible to kill you. They just need to like really fire on the turn that they basically, if you have multiple stone ships, the way that they flatline you is they have to generally get their cards to like 2 or 3 advancements so that they can advance it. And then with the last click, they need to do something clever. Like they have to draw a lot of cards. So the best case scenario for them is that they clicklessly play Sudden Commandment to draw 2 cards. Then with the Sudden Commandment, they play something like a Planogram to draw 3 cards, and then they buy themselves a click back with Sudden Commandment if they're on threat. And then at that case, which they will be on threat, mind you, because they scored out their, oh no, it doesn't work like that because you have to do the order. But once then you have like 9 cards in hand, you can brute force 3 education through Stone Ship. Doof can help, yeah. Any sort of HQ pressure is actually really good. Diversion of funds is fine. If you want to play Embezzle, you can play Embezzle. It's not great, but it's an option. Any sort of central pressure. Amakua is not bulletproof anymore because of wraparound and they're playing Mavirus, but Amakua actually goes pretty far because they can't afford to purge. Imp is really good. There's ways to deal with it. It's not bulletproof, but the problem is if they do it on turn 6, like you have to make sure your deck is keeping up to that. It showed up in my hand at Worlds 2022. Neurospike or Reeducation Neurospike? Doof and Azmari stretching the definition of help. You have to like double doof, but there's a lot of turns like Kyle's pointing this out. It's very true. By the way, you're totally right about drafting time. It's like doofing Azmari is not bulletproof because again, they lose 5, but they gained 2 if they call the event. Now, if you played another event, okay. But there's a lot of turns where you can map it out to be like they combo on 10 credits, they're on 9 credits, just don't play an event. But a diversion can slow them down. I think a big thing too is if they put a Rashida on the remote server, run the remote server. There's like no bad face check on turn 1. If they res a mess in chest for 5. But in this version of the deck, there's no bad face check on turn 1, and you need to stop the Rashidas. I wouldn't pinhole the Rashida unless you like your hand is really good because you're going to need the pinhole for something else, but you have to stop an early Rashida because this deck is 40 cards. Like Rashida almost always finds Rashida. Oh, you're playing Reeducation Neurospike, yeah. Says don't start a game until 11:30, but these games are like 6 turns, so J-Dang, I'm gonna ride that fine line. It kills through Stone Ship pretty easily. You have to set it up. You have to set it up a bit. But it obviously does. I just don't think you want to play into a field of lads. And Mold, for what it's worth, like if you don't think this is great and people can't figure out a way to deal with it consistently, yeah, the ban list might step up and do something. The question is whether they do that between now and dawn. I don't know. YOLO Embezzle while it's legal. I think Embezzle's maybe an option. It's not fantastic. You can't use multiple multi-axes with Embezzle, right? Because it's a breach replacement. What's going on? Whoa, keyboard? I got there. Run HQ if successful instead of breaching. Name Acid Ice Operation or Upgrade. Reveal 2 cards at random. Trash all the cards named that way. Gain 4 credits each. Stepping up to ban a Reeducation combo after dawn would be odd. Oh, well, they're going to ban it. It is going to rotate. You're totally fine. Kind of deck feels really bad if you don't learn it. There's fun to be had fumbling blind for new players. It's like, huh, what? Yeah, it's like, feels really bad. Like them scoring out an agenda and going from 0 points to flatline is like very, very cursed. And for what it's worth, like there is like 1 or 2 combos currently in the modern format that do that. This is the one that does see play. And I would argue, yes, having an agenda on a single advance if you can't break the remote server. Like I think people say like, but if you can't get in the remote server, you're going to lose anyways. But there's a difference. Like you can let the corporation score a single agenda unless it's like, for what it's worth, like Stegadon or AR Enhanced Security or False Lead and stuff like that. But yeah, it is functionally a 7-point agenda. It's weird. It's a bit weird. I don't think the deck is a busto ban or anything. I just personally don't enjoy the amount of variance it has. Yeah, I think it's also like not a deck that people bring to casuals. Probably. Like it's not showing up at like GNKs and stuff. Like I do think there's a lot of self-selection on when people pick their decks. So if it does show up everywhere and people are like, wait, Netrunner is really, really silly, then so be it. But this is mostly something you see at top tables at a tournament. Does it make bad stream content? Honestly, not. I think a lot of the last games that we saw on stream, like Radish was playing against one in a top cut recently. It was like a fun game to watch because like every action really matters. Where the runner only has 30 clicks, sometimes not even. Like making sure every click matters and getting these interesting forks is really cool. Sable. That's going to be a fun matchup, I think. This is a good one too. We don't want to get doofed too easy. Yo, what up? It's Dan. Thanks, you too. All right, this hand has Sudden Commandment to Planogram. That's good. We might put the first message chestful on HQ, just not get doofed. We have 2 punitives, so we just need to like acquire money. Having a False Lead or Ares or Stegadon score doesn't end the game. It doesn't prevent Hail Marys or later turns to win. I would argue sometimes it does. Like, for what it's worth, we've seen a lot of agendas where step one score this agenda, the game gets fucked up. We've been seeing a lot more of that from NSG than I think. Like, Ares is not NSG, but like, I'd argue Sisyphus is score this, the game is fucked up. Stegodon is really score this, the game is fucked up. Like, you can win. It's not unwinnable. It's just like, you'd rather they don't score that one. Score an awful office, please, is all I'm saying. Pittsburgh scene really representing. Let's go. Woo, I guess we go into YDL now. What's the rest of our turn? I think we just put Mess and Chesto on HQ to play safe, but we have all our combo pieces. So we'll do a Yodel. Otherwise, we can set up the Yodel for next turn. We can do like install Spin Doctor. So we can do, this Yodel is worth 4. I don't know if that's right. Like, what else are we gonna do? We can do Planogram for 3 cards and then Yodel. That's probably better. Okay. Not great, but maybe better. And we'll put Mess and Chesto on HQ. We drew every single Spin Doctor, which is kind of weird. So I'm gonna throw out 2 Spin Doctors. If we lose this Spin Doctor from hand, the game is messed up. Let's say that. I only play Andre if he plays a different card. Ben, you don't want to show your secret tech? Planet to YDL is good. Yeah. We want to draw through our deck anyways, because we don't have the cards we need to win. Well, we have these cards. And this was functionally like saving playing it. Ooh, okay. So Archives is the mark. This HQ, if it's a 1 in 5 to get the Spin Doctor, otherwise this Message Chesto res knocks out, it's a 2-credit swing. We'll res it. We might get Boomerang, but we'll res it. Sisyphus is so painful. Yeah, Sisyphus is kind of messed up. I wish it wasn't unlimited. It's not fun. Colin and I have the exact same 45. I'm not worried about that. Okay. Okay, this Spin Doctor is valuable. So we have the combo. We have everything we need for the combo, but we don't have enough money. So maybe we should have kept the Planogram. Dan is on... Haven't seen any influence yet, so we don't know what sort of Sable this is. It could be Deep Dive. Otherwise, it could just be like Reg. We need to play around... Stacking 2 Kogates is not great. We'll see how this goes. Another comparison, I think, is Keeling decks. They also basically said if you can't crack the remote, you lose. And that was considered too unhealthy, even though it wasn't as fast as Mari. Yeah, and then the bigger issue with Keeling is that you kind of got suffocated. Like, you watched your ability to play the game, like, leave you. And for what it's worth, most Keeling decks didn't flatline to Keeling. You flatline to Ice when you're on 1 card in hand because you had to start running aggressively. Like, Keeling didn't often kill you, flatline you. It was the Ice that flatlined you in context of Keeling, which is really interesting. But I agree, yeah. Knife, maybe? Yeah, could be Knife. Sable could be on Knife. Keeling gave you 16 clicks to deal with it after the res, though? Yeah, Keeling gave you a while to deal with it. I don't think Knife is fast enough. Yeah, if Dan's on Knife... Oh, this is good tech. Lucky Charm is really good tech. I think you're going to see more people play that. So we've double Neurospike. We don't have enough credits. We can put the Holloman in there and see if it paints a pinhole, but we can do install credit. The combo is like, we can do install Hallman, install Reeducation, credit. That might be fine. And then this makes Pinhole a bit more difficult. But we just don't have enough money. We've been getting Azmari every single turn, but this combo is like very expensive and we have to Resurrect. I'd rather play versus Spike than Keeling. Me too, 100%. I'd way rather play against Spike than Keeling. Spike, you have outs. It's more fun. Keeling like suffocates you and it's really rough. I really like Keeling. I remember when I made you trash a Keeling on 2 war raids, Ben. Good times. They need to unban Keeling for districts. I want to play 3 of them in the stale meta. Yeah, I don't think she's ever coming back. I'm sorry. I think if Keeling was worded slightly differently, there's a much bigger chance she could come back. The fact that like she gets counters and affects hand size basically when rezzed, that's not great. It's wrote out my memory. All right, this is a pinhole. It's a 50-50. I have to use the Spin Doctor here. There's no way that Dan is going to get the Spin Doctor, but like if the Spin Doctor goes down, the game is cooked. So I have to do the value Spin Doctor. It's fine. So we want to hope that it hits the Reeducation. It's a 50-50. I installed the agenda first. Yeah, not a lot of people do that, I think. I think that's the unnatural way of doing it. So we went for it. Rip. Any chance you'd have gone for the final spin? I didn't want to give you that. Yeah, in the context that was the final spin, I think Funky Man could have gone for it. The fact that it was known to be the final spin makes it interesting. If you didn't see the other 2 spins, I wouldn't have cracked that. Yeah. It's not great for me. So we won't give him the option. Free Luminal, I think of some point. I literally always do this way, agenda second. Okay, Winnegon, it's good that you're saying that publicly in a space like this. It's very important to do that so that when you're playing on the weekend, people will be like, okay, Winnegon always puts the agenda second. Carmen's coming down. We have like 1 or 2 sentries in the list, maybe 3. So this is a bad yodel, but we need to be able to do everything. So we can threaten as soon as this turn. The Messnechesso is holding. The Carmen does nothing. It's 2 code gates, which like obviously sucks. Yeah, trust. So this yodel is like really bad. We could draw once. Okay, we're not going to install that. So we can do yodel for 3 advance. So again, to combo out, we need 10 credits. It's 6 for Holloman, 7 for advance, 3 for Neurospike. Now Dan can beat this by playing Class Act. That buys a turn. Very important. Like there's a lot of ways that Dan can actually get more time. A big one of them is Class Act, and we haven't seen one so far. I would be very happy for Sable if Sable Class Acted. Oh, this is good too. This forces 2 reses. Unfortunately, they're both code gate reses, so like you can mutual favor your way through this. I don't want to like count on the punitive because a Class Act also beats that. So we'll res these. Unfortunately, we probably should have put these in the other order so the face check would have mattered. We definitely should have put these in the other order. Winnegon always installs agenda first, except when he doesn't. Yeah. Yeah, so Lucky Charm, you have to make a successful run on HQ for that ability. I think Funky Man thought you'd be able to get into server 2, but you have to run HQ. I also think sometimes you have to run HQ to install this, but it's to make the remote server run. Now, very importantly, as long I'm on 9 credits, I can't win. So Funky Man just has to do nothing here. Just get closer to be able to deal with this. So Swift coming down a bit later. Carpe Diem already played an event. Swift is not going to work. Not going to make the run. So just getting the money up. Mavirus is neat. I think the most important thing is just to get credits here. We can put the Rototurret on the outermost. It beats like Boomerang inside job. I think that's worth something, but this drops us to 7 and we go up to 9, so we can't afford to do that. Lucky Charm is so restricted. I wish it was installed instead of used for HQ. Yeah, but the game would be busted. This card would be so strong if you just ran HQ at one point on turn 1 and then the remote server cannot keep you out. Like, you kind of need that to be the case. Imagine playing the whole game with you can run the remote server and stop and end the run. Just because you ran HQ. Like this card doesn't see a lot of play, but that version would be busto. I'm assuming we're not going to need this. So we just want to keep our money up. Hopefully. Pull-up was pretty wild card and would be drastically better today. Yeah, pull-up would be pretty great today. Pull-up was a fun card though. One of my favorite things about this game is that instant speed effects need to be put on the table first. Yes. Carpe Diem R&D, nice. I get 2. So Dan has 3 clicks here to figure it out. Either mutual favor, code gate breaker, run the remote server, don't die to punitive. Which I think the math is okay here. If it's on Shibboleth, it's really strong. Otherwise, just install Class Act buys Dan a whole turn cycle. Love that guy. Good guy. Pop-up is a fun card. Class Act, Career Fair, Earthrise, that's game. Bummer. Just a bit too slow. Turn 6. Do I think this deck is healthy? No. No, I don't. Oh, do we actually beat Class Act on 9 cards? We can bottom 5. No, we don't beat it. Hey, GG. I was hoping that Career Fair came with a Class Act. It was the wrong card draw. If it may matter that you poison archives, yes. But I'd like to purge too. Should have dug harder, yeah, maybe. So this is like spending clicks on doing things that don't matter. Like the Carmen coming down does matter because we deal with Rototurret. But it's like, again, draw through 15 cards, the game is over. Yeah, it's a weird look. It's a weird look. I think there's no way that you're not on deep dive. An Estebrado that turn with an inside job could have hit HQ for Lucky Charm and gotten in. Oh, sick. Yeah, that's good. Think you might have a punitive issue that turn because I wouldn't res. Yeah, so on an earlier turn, Estebrado HQ, that costs 2. It'd be close. So the idea is that if you spend going through HQ and then you run server 2, there's a chance that you have a punitive issue. I'm not sure. Hey, thanks you too. You playing this weekend? Neurotropic spikefish. Oh, heck yeah. Best of luck out there. Oh, I didn't show. I think I have these for sure. Dan and Kevin, they made these like alt arts of Netrunner cards from their visit to Montreal. They have like Montreal locations on them that they took photos of when they visit. They're very, very, very cute. Thanks. Hey, cheers. I need to pull them out. There's like the Fairmont Bagel shops on one of them. One of them is I think the Hydro building, which is a really intimidating looking building. They're very, very cute. I should show them on stream at some point. I mean, did Worm give up? There's no more server reset? Oh, wrong deck. Cool. So, hey, if you're training, another card you can put in your deck is Class Act. It's very important. It buys you a window. That's a good one to have. Server reset got canceled. Go home. You used to know Dan in Boston before he moved? Yes. Yeah. Yeah, he would come up to events in Montreal, and I would see him at events on the Northeast. Cultist of Zoe. Not familiar with the name. Oh, Alice, that's interesting. So Alice can be a bit of a liability on the basis that we can feed Alice an agenda. Thanks, you too. And then we can just punitive Alice. So Alice is sometimes a problem. 50 card deck too. My Kingdom for Class Act A. Good game, Dan. This hand's great. Spin Doctor to Yodel turns off Alice's ability. We can just put like a wraparound on archives and say we don't want to deal with the ability, but the ability actually can backfire pretty heavily. Boston meta dead now, for real, for real. That's what Dario. We were really happy to have him here. I know you. Okay. All right, Magnet. That's fine too. We're gonna keep Magnet for the remote server. It's pretty good into Bochelai. So we have punitive. We have a setup. So wraparound's the cheapest thing that we can put on the remote server. I think this is a fine in your digital life. It's like a hedge fund, and then we can ice up a thing. We have so much extra ice that I don't think we really care too much. We want to have the magnet on the outside generally, so we'll put wraparound on the inside. So if Alice wants to run archives, it's fine with me. Pittsburgh meta bustling. Who else left other than me and Dan? Ooh, Price hitting a Crew, a Lago, a Stargate. So the Stargate is going to be a bit disruptive. It's not fantastic to Stargate into a Spin Doctor, but it does have a control on the game. We're just going to have to put an ice here. So you get one good Stargate off this turn. So it's Sarievna, Commandment, Planogram. This is tricky. Sudden Commandment is just gas. But Sarievna is going to end up on R&D if you don't trash it. Harp, it's been going okay. We lost the internet today, so we started a bit late. We've been playing the Decklist of the Week. Now we're playing Spike Azmari and just being a heel on JNet. So, you know, it's going great. Pittsburgh versus Boston grudge match. How are you doing, Harp? Ben also left at Charlotte. Oh, that's true. Yeah, actually, a couple people did step away. Sundarian, how you doing? Losing Sudden Commandment. Okay, so we have this is a cool new change to JNet that keeps this here. Looks bad. You don't like the choice? Ooh, Burner. Wild. Okay, so we have a Spin Doctor on top. We're hoping to keep the Neurospike and Punitive, obviously. But with a Spin Doctor too, like I'm not too upset about. Like we can just shuffle this up if we want to. IBL. Ah, sorry to hear, Harp. Hopefully it's better soon. I feel like Metropole has had a really good corp win rate in 2025. Maybe? We've had a good win rate on streams recently. Like I think our Tuesday streams, we've been like playing weird HB stuff and just like flying through. But it's not about the win rate, usually. It's about like learning something. I don't mind the win rate. Like our win rate can be bad. As long as we can like look at a game and be like, oh, this is how we mess it up. That's the most important thing. Oh no. That's the, oh yeah, straight to the bottom. Not even thinking about it. Yeah. Or like rightfully so. That's what you should do. The runner doesn't recognize your deck list, but she does at least know what's up with Burner. That's to say Burner's busted. I think Burner is straight busted. This card is hella busted. Yeah, I can't believe the strongest HQ pressure card is a Shaper card. Doesn't make any sense. Cleventic on the bottom. Okay. We can go down to 2 hand sizes turn. She can run archives if she wants. She like dirty laundry. We don't have an agenda to give her. Color pie isn't real. Yeah. Shaper's been bad for a while, right? So we can decide to Spin Doctor here, but I'm okay drawing the Sarievna, which is a card draw card. I'm okay drawing the Planogram. So I think we do draw, Planogram. If we get Rashida, goes on the remote server. Okay. I think Enigma on R&D is actually relatively good. We have double Puny. I think Enigma is going to be a good enough face check. I'd rather res this for 3 than Satyevna for 4. 2 net damage, though, is pretty good. F it. This is always good. I like Attitude because we can discard agendas. Messney is a bit expensive. We have 2 cheaper code gates. I don't care about the face check event. Ari paints with all the colors. Alex, that is a really nice catchphrase. How you doing? What happens when you give a Crim card to any other faction? This whole last set has only been giving Crim cards to other factions. What are you talking about? Daily Cash, she's down to 0. Alice hasn't fired. Degree Mill. I don't like that one. Let's draw. Okay, back into the deck you go. This shuffles the deck, which is really important because now we don't know where our other things are. And here I think we'll do Magnet Holloman. We could also draw once, install the Holloman and discard. She's going to be on 2 credits. Yeah, that's much better. So I don't think we're worried about using the Holloman. Magnet's much better than Enigma. It's bad for the runner not recognizing the deck list. Yeah, it's bad neurospiking someone, but she saw the neurospike. Like, she should know what's up to some extent. She just might not know Reeducation. It's a pretty niche card, but hey, she's playing Alice, so like she's digging into the card pool. What are other Crim cards and other factions besides Burner? Copulation, Phaserum. Those are the really big ones. Oh no, not again. Fighting 2 Burners in the top, like 5 cards of Alice. Really good. Punitive to the bottom. I'm unconvinced Crim wasn't just a printer error. Blue ink cheap, green ink expensive. Wraparound's gone too. Don't have to list the bottom Neurospike. Yes. Anytime you see a weird card that like is trying to kill you and you don't understand it, like you just get rid of it. Rightfully so. Steve. Oh yeah, Steve is basically not a criminal card. Actually, this criminal Steve decks are like hella cool. I don't want to undersell those. Okay. So I think we sudden commandment here. Nice. We'll just yodel. I think we'll just set up the remote server. We only have a single punitive, but she doesn't have money. So it's either Holloman or Meg down the remote server. I'm going to put Meg down the remote server. We don't want to lose Reeducation for no reason. So we have 2 Neurospikes. We just know they're not on the bottom 2 cards of the deck because we shuffled since the first burner. You have 2 punitives? Yeah, now we do. Patchwork, sick. Her deck is cool. Most of the RWR cards play only if not tagged, and I feel like it should be only if tagged. Only if tagged is fun. It's way fun. Okay, Steel Skin into Amakua. That's really good. That's really good. Wraparound is going to be good for that. But she actually is going to... This is going to be frightening. She did play a Steel Skin, and those are really important. 2 Steel Skins out means our punitives are much stronger. Because if we don't know where these are, we're in a bad spot. Yeah, this is good. She's doing okay. The problem is if she steals an agenda, like she dies to double punitive here. So she has a 1 in 5 to die and a 1 in 4 to hit Degree Mill. So if she steals this, she loses. She shouldn't steal this. She knows that we're on a punitive, but she shuffled it away. So she might feel a bit more comfortable. But on 0 credits, 4 cards, 2 Steel Skins out, it's very, very dangerous. It's a good thinker though. Running Archive is lethal here? Yes. This is the thing where like Alice hasn't mattered and it's actually a downside. All right. Well, that's a game, I guess. With Wraparound, is there logic behind pre-installing a Fractor in this matchup? You can, for sure. To some extent, you want to hide your cards to not show that you have it. But yeah, having a Fractor is really, really good. Oh, yeah. Ooh, Strike Fund. Sometimes that messes the math up. But yeah, sometimes it do just be like that. Hey, good game. Yeah, I drew the 3rd pretty fast after. Patchwork sucks because it encourages you to discard steel. I think in this matchup, if she might not know the matchup as well, but in that matchup, you'd keep the Steel Skin. You would just throw something else out. Like looking at the other cards, you could throw out just about any of these cards. You'd be fine. Hippo's fine. Yeah, yeah. I lost a lot of cards. She run archives and get a punitive out of there? Well, we can throw it. It's our choice, right? So we'll give her the agenda. Yeah, thanks for the game, eh? So if she didn't steal there, we actually don't win that quickly. Like, for what it's worth, we don't have our combo. So we would have to draw... Oh, Neurospike's the next card. Never mind. We'll be fine. Yeah, it's a corpse choice. Yeah, Alice lets us choose. She can't see her whole hand and decide for us. It would be busted. It's a Reeducation. Putting Patchwork in the deck is like saying, I will use this to get value from Steel Strike if you don't have plenty of other ways to trigger those cards. Ben, if you're saying that you don't enjoy Patchwork, I so disagree with you. This card is hella cool. Making all your other cards into a clickless 2 credits is just gas. Obviously, strike funds and steel skins are one thing, but like, I don't care. I'll throw out my extra Lagoos, my extra Patchworks, my whatever I don't need. So good. Yeah. I have a wraparound. I'm scared of the Amakua getting tall. I have a wraparound out there. So you'll need a lot of counters. Yeah, she's on a nice destruction deck. It's a cool card, but it's not good. I so disagree, man. This thing has won a bunch of events. It's such a good card. I'm surprised that you don't like it. Patchwork activates my neurons. It genuinely makes me happy. It's such a fun card. Yeah. What are your thoughts on Audrey? Putting Patchwork, excuse me. What's a Klevetnik for? So if you run it with Banhar or Crew, you can blank it. Exactly. Or if you have any resource that mitigates damage on a punitive turn, you have some cool options. Anyone resources? Oops. Audrey's different because the value of breaching servers is less linearly analyzable than 2 credits per card. Finally, someone says it's Patchwork mid. Daria, your list that you published like 2 weeks ago, if it had a Patchwork, so good. But it also doesn't run that much recursion. Was already mid with Max. Patchwork? I don't know if Patchwork Max. What console won Worlds with Patchwork in Max? There's an instinct as soon as you see unusual cards to destroy them. I think that's right. Recursion is cringe. Yeah, but I think the problem. So the issue I had with that Hoshigo list is that it feels so slow and methodical because it doesn't have recursion. Yeah. Patchwork won ICC 23. Yep. Yeah. Man in the Moon played a list very similar to the list that off 15-15 and Torpedo was playing. Very similar to Decklist of the Week, but with like Conduit and that Aeneas Informant. It's very cool. Hey, cheers. Thanks, you too. Was it Ma and Max Deck that won Worlds? That sounds right. There's no way of knowing. You just need to not be attached to your cards. Daria, I agree, but you can't not be attached to your cards. Like, if you're not attached to your cards, why are you not playing Price? It feels like you're attached to your cards, Daria. Server restarted at 11:30. It's 11:16. Oh, this is bad form. Okay, wait, no. But it is a 6-turn deck. I feel like an ass. Sorry, I'm gonna label my lobby. Sorry, J-Deck. It's a 10-minute game. Ooh, Quetzal. That's actually not a bad choice into this deck, on the basis that like wraparounds are pretty important. Hey, I'm assuming Quetzal has some sort of pressure to like make that ability worth something. So like Chestushka shows up. That sign won't stop me. I can't read. Bezel, like, have fun. This hand, I don't love it. Like, we have a punitive, that's fine. We have the Yodel, that's whatever. We have a wraparound, which doesn't seem great. Enigma's great, Holloman's good. But I kind of want to get a Rashida. Like, if we don't draw out a card draw card, I do not know how to play this hand. I'm gonna mulligan it. That hand looked good. Jason gonna come and yell at you? I know. Jason's really nice. What a villain. It's 11:25. One more Neurospike game. T-minus 13 minutes, yeah. We gotta play this one fast. Seeping, no, I'm not aware. I'm a newbie, so I need some time to read. Oh no, we don't have a lot of time in the round. Yeah, that's for sure. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to ask. However, the server is resetting in 13 minutes. So we might just disappear. Apologies if the signal goes dark. Oh, he's a villain. Francie, how's it going? Running Azmari kill into newbies feels bad. I know. Oh, this is on me to start. Hey, best luck. Have fun. I didn't mean this to happen. I feel like everyone's grinding secretly for CBI. I thought we'd run into people testing. Are we hurting the poor newbie with your education kill? Yes. They're going to hate the game. I'm so sorry. Not a great start. Not as bad as Icy Hot, not as bad as Icy Hot. Toxic Streamer. I know what I'm about. I don't feel so good, Mr. Stark. Someone in my local meetup played a Hosh deck with buffer drive patchwork. It looks like, yeah, Gautam, that's the sort of list I played at Crown of Servers. It's really fun. Crew Hosh, get your patchwork down, buffer drive, go infinite. Prison decks are a blade on Netrunner. Yeah, I'm not a big prison deck fan. I did play Gagarin at One Worlds. It was fun. Somehow I've fallen into liking prison decks that feel disgustingly satisfied by them. It's good that you recognize that, right? Oh, sick. Wait, this is cool. I think they might be playing like Startup. Or like, you know. I feel like this game might take a bit. It's okay. Don't hit a re-education. Wraparound. Nice. Quetzal loves wraparound. Like, I don't mean to disparage a newer player. I think newer player is like the best player. I'm just stressed because we got 11 minutes. These are usually fast games. But this one probably will be 20 minutes. Prison decks are great. Hush. I don't agree with that. Okay, we found another barrier. If we get enough of those. All right, that's good to be upsetting. I think we'll just do one of these and one of those, and then we'll wait. Now, the bad thing about this is we don't have a Rashida remote, so it might actually be better to put the Holloman in the remote server, especially because we're holding a punitive. But yeah, I have no... Like, if we lose this, that is the best outcome. I'll be very clear. But if they die to punitive or re-education, I'm gonna feel like a dick. I don't think there's a way around it. Install your virus, crack it to get regolith. All the like neurons are firing every board state. Wait, that's a regolith. So how many points do you think op goes down, Ben, if you lose border control and rotation? Just like how many points? Can't wait to build horrible prisons in Dawn. I feel like Dawn probably is not a prison set. It's fine. The server is just going to restart in the middle, and that means the runner obviously took down the evil, powerful corporation. They steal the like 3 points of agendas, and before the punitive can get played, the server shuts down. It'll be sick. They use the basic action to gain credit instead of penny shaver. Sometimes that's okay. It depends how much more running they're going to do. It's usually not okay. I feel like sometimes it's okay. It's always better than clicking for credit, so it's probably never okay. Okay. They have a lot of money. Draw. They steal one, servers go down, they win. It's sometimes be like that. I'm just going to put this on R&D. We really need to top deck something of value. I'm a playtester, so I can't comment on the question. Okay, so we have to understand that the playtesters have sent an OB enthusiast into playtesting, and so we're going to get that feedback in the brew, which I think is pretty important. They better give me another ID to play fully op, I'll tell you what. Well, you're upset that you're losing Acme, Jai? No more Acme? No more op? Sorry, no more fully op? Yeah, it'll be weird to see where fully op is if it's just like sometimes you play it in Atea to gain like 3 credits or whatever. I killed a new player on turn 2 at Worlds with Ag Boop into Saisentan. They didn't know what Ag did. I felt terrible. Yeah, it's a really bad situation because normally you'd be like, you'd explain it. But at Worlds, like, yeah, that feels bad. Fully op PD kind of works. I feel like it's a red level clearance. Trash cans on every card just for the op enjoyers. Just play it in Atea. That's what I'm saying. It's like a lot of influence. Sometimes it gives you money only if you're winning. Card draw's good in Atea. Andre, I started Forgotten Age for the first time. Holy crap, the first scenario is rough. Really? Did you play Return to Original Rules? The first scenario is one of my favorite scenarios. It is so cool. Better tools for Epiphany. That idea is fun. Yeah, I think you can imagine Diogen much better tools for Epiphany. Those would be really cool. I want something that like gives me power if I know the top cards in my deck and not a resource or an asset. It's nice to grab it in the bin and PD. If you go super wider, then focus on making fully op 4+ times broken. I don't want to comment more on Arkham, but it looks like Velma's might be starting soon. I redid the entire streaming setup and recording video setup. And it looks like I've locked in a second player, so I'll let you know. Fully ob. Amazing. Forgotten Age is just such a good campaign. It's really, really good. Please draw something good. I didn't even pay attention to what they accessed. Okay. Let's see if they touch this. I'm assuming they will. They have Penny Shaver. 7-minute warning? Yeah, you're right. We'll get there. I never grokked Forgotten Age, just liked it every time I played it. I think that, so they changed the Explore rules in Return to. And so Exploration deck gets scarier the later you go, as opposed to starting the worst on turn 1. And then by like turn, later in the game, it's useless, which I think is just a better rule. I think that makes sense. So you don't just get stuck in a snowball. It makes sense. The more you go deeper into the unexplored, the more dangerous it gets. It's such a better mechanic. And I think that does help a lot. I don't think I've not played the Return to rules ever since they've come out. But it's just like good choices. The narrative is good. I think like 7 out of 8 scenarios are fantastic. The theme is really good. Having violence not be the solution in a lot of encounters is like very satisfying. Oh, Pinhole. Cool. Forgotten Age is my top 3. Yeah, it's easily my top 3. It actually might be my top 1. I'd have to think about it though. Hey, Spooky. Playing through at the moment. The Return to is so good. The Return to is so good. Ooh, they touched Reeducation. Okay, cool. I think in one of the last practice matches I played, I installed a degree mill instead of Reeducation. I just mixed the art up. It's the same color palette. I get that a lot. And then the same theme. I'm so sad that the first 3 Return tos are impossible to get hold of without hundreds of dollars. Alec, if I see them, you want me to hit you up? I think I see them locally sometimes. Let me know which ones are rare and I'll keep my eyes out. Please? Which ones are you missing? Dunwich I know is impossible to get. That one's, I think the ship has sailed. Which Dunwich unfortunately has good cards in it. And Return to Dunwich isn't important. So you're looking for Carcosa and Forgotten? Someone played Parallel Pete and it's very fun to trap all the enemies instead of killing them. I played Parallel Pete recently. Really fun. Really fun. I think unfortunately, so there's that improvised trap you can play. And one of the options makes it explode into damage. But you can't recur it with Pete because you have to discard it for it to explode. It was so upsetting to learn that ruling. Knight of the Zealot. Oh, Zealot, Dunwich Carcosa. Okay. Zealot is like not, it has okay cards in it, I think. But the Return tos are like forgettable. Markham more. Depends on the player count, but an hour to 2 hours. What was the question? How long is it a Markham scenario take? Oh, it depends. If you play solo, 45 minutes. If you play 1 or 2 players, an hour to 2 hours. If you play 4 players, it can be like 3 hours sometimes. But it's as long as you'd want it to be. I haven't had complaints. All right, so we need to draw into a Neurospike so we can win. We didn't. Yeah, no. Rototurret, Enigma. Stacking barriers seems sus. Event. Yeah. 11, 23, 6. We need this Rashida to draw, and then we can win. We can win in 2 turns if this Rashida survives. I'm glad Return to Cycle was easy to find because the tarot cards are cool. Yeah, tarot cards are really cool. I've done a couple of readings in other campaigns that weren't like Circle and Dent campaigns, and it's fun. It's a really cool. It's a cool thing. It's something they didn't need to do, and it's an appreciated cool thing to do. My recent sad discovery was that you can't use Eldritch Tongue to recur Alessandra's signature. Yeah, I learned that too. I think I played it wrong for a while. She's on the dang art. Why wouldn't she let me do it? Yes, because you attach it. I forget the ruling why. But yeah, for what it's worth, you have 3 of them, so you don't really need to recur them. But I know I have played that illegally before, and I caught that much later and been like, oh, that's upsetting. I've been playing a limited collection Carcosa run with Carcosa back, and it's actually been fun. Oh, super cool. Carcosa is a sick campaign. Really good campaign. Carcosa is probably in my top 3. Forgotten Age, definitely. Carcosa, probably. I don't know what else would be up there. My current build is Leo with Cyclopean Hammer. Yeah, Cyclopean Hammer is like, it's technically tabooed. It's a very good weapon. Are there any proxy options to self-print or of NPC DTC then return to since they're out of print and overpriced? Is that a big no-no? You can try. I think a lot of times if you send Arkham stuff that make playing cards, they will refuse. So you very need to be specific about how and if it works. I don't know. You can just proxy it yourself, but I don't think a lot of those websites will print it because they're aware that it's not theirs. So I'm not sure, Orly. I don't know. I haven't looked into proxying. I think I want to proxy some make playing card stuff for Arkham, but it would be like alternate investigators. Oh, Banhart, that's good. Rashida finds our thing and gets us an ice. Yes, nice. I mean, nice. So let's find. There's actually not that many. Oh wait, no, I should just go fast. We probably kill impunitive. We triple punitive, so I think we're just gonna do planogram, advance, discard these three. We could have done double barrier. I think it's fine. Got advance 1x. Yeah, I'll advance 2x. Why 2x? No actual reason to do it. It doesn't change the math. I NPC the parallel investigators and some book promos. The size is very slightly off, but it's not noticeable. Yeah, if you sleeve, yeah. Any chance you just res and use Holloman? That turn, it's expensive. We could have. I don't want to really spend 6 credits until it actually matters. They also don't know what this is, and so showing them what it is like has some sort of value because we know they are playing Pinhole, and we need the Holloman to survive. That being said, if they know it's a Holloman, maybe it's actually better. Yeah, it's probably better to Holloman this to get onto 3, and then we can do advance Neurospike if they Pinhole the Holloman. Yeah, I think in hindsight it'd be better to Holloman this. I'm just not play the planogram. Oh no, we'd Holloman planogram credit. It's about the same. Yeah. Yeah, it's much better because if the Holloman survives, we could maybe like draw if we need a Neurospike if they have more cards in hand or something like that. Yeah, it's much better to Holloman here. It's a good shout. Does Arkham have anything like rotation? No. It doesn't because it's a cooperative game, so they don't care. It's not like the meta gets stale, but the meta gets stale if you allow it to get stale. It's your meta. But more importantly, what they do is they have a thing called the taboo list. And so unfortunately, unfrequently, they put out a list of cards that get either banned. There's like 1 or 2 banned cards if you want to play with the taboo list, which is not enforced. It's like if you want to, this is the thing you can do. There's also cards that are mutated, so they change the text and errata them slightly. Generally, they make them better or more balanced, and some cards will cost more or less experience. Oh, you want to move? Do you want to move Banhart? Cat spotted? Yeah, Nana really likes that table. There's some like playing what's it called? She likes the red box because it's felted. There's some playmats. Oh, you'll have to undo turn. If we both type it, it'll restart. Is there another way to refix Banhart? I really just like Taboo Errata. I like my cards to do what they say. I don't mind it in Arkham because it's up to you to do it. I hear you. But like some people don't use the errata. Some people do. It's up to you. T minus 1 minutes? Yeah, shit. Actually, we're 31. Minus 1 minutes. Personal responsibility? Yeah, it's personal responsibility. Usually they do it in a way to like make the meta more diverse. Like say for instance, there's a 0 XP. So a card you can put in every starter deck that is just like the most busted card in this slot. So like an ally in your 1 ally slot, that's just the best ally. If they don't mutate the card and make its ability once per turn instead of every single damn turn, like every single action on your turn, people just don't play more of the card pool. And so like one of the ways to make a bigger card pool is just to like, you know, mutate powerful cards. All right, we're running this. We have cards in hand. We're gonna just res the Saryevna. We just need to make sure we have runner does not need credits here. Taboo list buff sniper rifles, so it's goated. Yeah, sniper rifle is much more fun. The one with the 0 costers is really sick. So this is 3 damage. They lost Dirty Laundry and raindrops and botchless. They could have raindrops this for sure. Taboo seems like a good thing if you played a lot. Yes, the more you play it, the more you know. Some people do like print mutated cards. The print to play options for those exist. They do provide print to play options. They just don't print them officially, but they do make the PDFs available. So I dislike it, so I don't use it, but it also makes me glad NSG does minimal functional rise. I agree. I'm glad NSG works the way it does, but I'm glad that there is balance in Arkham. There's a lot of cards in Arkham too. Thursday night, Netrunner. How's it going? Yeah, this is a new player. We're gonna kill them with re-education. The server is meant to go down in a minute though, so like a minute ago. So we're also we're like 3 times the villain. I wish they'd give an official option for printing the mutated cards. I get what they don't do. They do. Oh, official? No, they don't. For a while they were printing like the novella people at the game center, which I got all of those before those went out of print, which is great. But yeah, I do wish there was an official way to buy them. Maybe at some point they'll do a pack. I'll be very surprised. It's like a really niche product, but I don't play certain parallel investigators because I can't like print the card and make it look nice. Like I don't play Susie because I don't want to. I do actually have a drawn Susie with cats. It's pretty good. But yeah, I wish it was easier to get into. They got one click. They need to steal 7 points, or they need to get the Neurospike out of hand. Novella Roland is great because you don't have to use his annoying ass weakness. The problem with Novella Roland is that all his cards look the same. Like it's a no, the server's down. We were literally 30 seconds too slow. The server just went down. Ow, my heart. The worst outcome. No. They just had to end turn. They live. They live. Not undefeated on JNet Casual. We did it. 18 minutes. Test. Beans. We saved Quetzal. Quetzal flies on again. Oh, that's so funny. They were just figuring that turn out. Unfortunately, we just needed. We could have done it. How fast can we do it? Okay, look. Start turn. Res Hallman. Use Hallman. Reeducation. Click. 3 cards. Just 3 cards. Hit Neurospike. Oh, we needed 10 seconds. Stun lock. Too powerful. Oh man, really, really good. This is a W because now this won't want to quit from getting Reeducation. Yeah, this is the best outcome. We technically won, but also they didn't get to see the bad thing happen, so they don't lose faith in the game. Jason was watching this game and pulled it down the best time. I really hope so. And the scene. I do get frustrated that people reach for the taboo list to nerf player cards before increasing the game difficulty to hard. Yeah, but I don't play the game a lot on hard. For what it's worth. I'm not sure hard makes Arkham more interesting. But I hear you. I do hear you. That is an interesting thing. Does this make your complete games number go down? Jello shots? I don't know. If it does, I'll be upset. And admittedly, it'll be on me. So if I hit concede, nah, we're probably cooked. That's not good. J-Dang, huge J-Dang W. On a long series of J-Dang Ws. Not a rare J-Dang W. I just want to say that. J-Dang's great. All right, well, hey. We survived. You guys want to do Marvel Champions talk? They have a new thing that came out today. We're not going to do it. The barrier was the server all along. Oh man, I think mini sets that rework expand cards would be really cool. Bring back the nostalgia World Tree decks, but it costs 10 and is bad. Trib is 0 strength. Roseki at 2 MU. Kayambe grid. I think you'll see it eventually. Like we functionally have seen it. What's the last card that's been like that? Where it's like this is clearly a reimagining of a card that we've seen before. Like we've seen it from FFGJs to NSG days, but we're going to see more of it. Of like, here's a balanced version of this card. Reminder to submit your CBI list. Yeah, when's the cutoff? I should probably just get this up here. No signal.games. So submission. Your deck list for all 3 pods, so it doesn't matter what day you're playing, must be submitted by Friday, January 17th at 8 a.m. PST. So that is in like 10 hours maybe, give or take. So please do that. Don't mess up CBI because you didn't submit your deck list. Also make sure you've submitted the right deck list and then go on Jinteki.net and label that deck list clearly so you also don't get a game loss for no good reason. That's a really bad thing to do. Oh, remastered edition. Yeah, that's a technically an example. A remastered edition is them reimagining a busted card to make a pretty sad card. A remastered edition, place 1 agenda counter when you score it, use this to advance a counter. That's exactly the text on a 3-2, but it's now a 4-2. That was, I never know the name of this one. AstroScript pilot program. I'm honestly so happy I'm not playing the CBI. Why Harp? I think it's going to be fun. I think it's going to be a really cool tournament. Me at World Showdown, Tron, you and an esteemed crew of very competitive players. I've seen so many good players like lose games for deckless reasons. Online tournaments, I don't like them. Yeah, no, I hear you. They're not for everyone. I get it. There's a lot of in-person play too, so it's good that's accessible. F in the chat for AstroScript. This limit 1 per deck. This is not real. This was photoshopped on. Notice how it looks weird. It's like data loop. It's like, why is the text like that? I don't know. It's probably not real. There are also so many cards that are more subtle reworkings, like Urban Art is kind of like Aesop's if you squint. Oh, that one's kind of different. Okay, look, I need to talk about this because I think this is the coolest card, but it's going to be a Marvel Champions card. Okay? Okay, I'm going to show you what I think is the coolest card. Okay, they had an article today. Shuri's in the game. It's a Black Panther character. This card is so cool, both in terms of an interesting build around and just like one of the most, it's just a really fun combination of theme and flavor. Let's try and read this together and see if it makes sense if you don't know how this game works. It's a 2-cost support. This card is yellow, which means it's played in the justice aspect. That's the aspect that's really good at not hurting things, but like dealing with schemes and stuff like that. So it's not really good at dealing with minions and hitting people on the head. It says, after a minion leaves play, tuck it under here from the encounter deck, discard pile. So after you defeat a minion, you just put it into the raft. For those who don't know, the raft is a prison in the Marvel universe where all the like bad people go. It's on an island, right? Then remove threat from a scheme equal to that tucked minion's printed scheme. So once you bop a little thing, it goes into the prison complex, not an endorsement of the prison complex, and then you take some threat off of a scheme. However, if there are at least 4 minions here, you have to randomly deal one of them face down to any player as an encounter card. So if you get too many things into the raft, one of them breaks out, which sometimes is good because you can arrest them again, which again, not an endorsement of the prison complex. It sounds like an endorsement of the prison complex, but like it's just such a cool thematic card where like the minions are escaping and you can give them to any player at the table. Sometimes players want minions and then the whole thing is good. It's such a cool card. It's just like such a fantastic design and it allows you like to make minions good in leadership in an interesting way. It's pretty funny. It's great. It's really, really great. It's just very charming design. I liked it up. I like it a lot. Where's Alex? I'm washed up doing comms. Only Tito gets that. I don't know what's going on. Are you still playing the cut though? Online's literally the only time I get to play comp Netrunner without hopping on a plane. Yeah, right? Right? I've not been keeping up with the standard, hoping for the best of the CPI. Logmanos, I think you'll have a fun time. Just make sure you have a way to deal with Azmari so you don't die on turn 6 and get salty. Sadly, this is not a force response, so the second part is never going to be a downside. No, it's never going to be a downside. It is optional, which like that obviously is a balance part of the card. If it was forced and you have to send them to prison, like, okay. But this is any player too. Like it's a minion leaves play. It doesn't have to be your defeating. So when you play multiplayer, like this would be a liability. So technically you can also use this just to like suck in one minion and just keep it there. And there's some really important minion. It's kind of like Binder's Jar, which I'm pretty sure is how you pronounce this name. Binder is a name you can have, right? Binder's Jar also has value, but it also can just take minions out of the encounter deck. It's really good. Hey, I got home from my locals. Can anyone tell me how to zombie freedom? It's fun. I think droids, the problem I've had with zombie freedom is I play it like a Hoshiko deck where I want to run and do singles. I'm not convinced you can do that all the time. I think you have to spend a fair bit of time setting up because you don't have a lot of card draw on the deck. Running's also good because you're freedom, but just be careful. I know I struggle with card draw because I spent too many times making like singles where I probably shouldn't have. It's Binder, like the paper binder, because it bins something. Yeah, exactly. Binder's Jar. It bins things. I get it. Jai gives us a chance at CBI this year. Is Tuno playing or is it not allowed to play because it's in the top cut? Or is it also still playing because that's a fun thing to do? Is Tuno allowed to play? Anyhow, it's 11:41. Sorry about the JNet servers going down. Technically not undefeated on JNet, so that is what it is. Thank you so much for hanging out. Sorry, this was a bit of a shorter one. We didn't have internet. We have internet. Honestly, like when it's 8 o'clock and you don't have internet, you're panicking because the stream's coming on. Into the bin with you. Yeah, you get it. The circuit breaker is allowed to play. Oh, cool. But Jai says, surely Tuno can't play. Apparently you can. The spot cascades, yeah. So Tuno can't eat a spot. That makes a lot of sense. I want to give you a huge thank you to all these names here and more that help support the Metropolitan Grid. It's been a bit sleepy when it comes to content on this channel, I'll be honest. The streams have been really great, like hanging out on Tuesdays. We might do some more streams, but things have been slowing down a bit because we're doing some setup here to get some live in-person paper play. A lot of time has been spent like troubleshooting and getting things to work and wiring things and doing setups, and it just takes a lot of time behind the scene, and it's not something you're going to see or appreciate until a bit when it actually comes to fruition. I'm still missing a whole bunch of stuff that I have to pull in, so like we got a bunch of kit here. We still need to get like lav mics, and the lighting is really shit. It's really hard to light. It's so hard to light things on a table. I'll be very honest. So It's all going to come together relatively soon. Be patient with me. We probably should just do it like a deck dive on the channel just to make sure that we're doing something, but a bit of patience. Like the stream friend does, like and subscribe. Thank you, Jai. If you want to take a second to like the video, huge shout out to all these names here and more and our daily cast patrons that help support the channel to be the way that it is. I wonder what the net effect of having Tuno in your pod is, positive, negative, or neutral. If you're not worried about Tuno because Tuno can't take a cut spot, I think it's okay. In theory, Tuno will knock other people down. Maybe that's better for you. You just got to dodge the Tuno. Anyone know how long Jano is down for? Spooky, I don't know. I'm not sure how long a reset is. It's usually not that long. It should be up in an hour. I think they're just resetting to like get the server ready for the CBI. I don't think they're making update changes, is my guess. 2 cost 3 copies of Chase Them Down is an okay card already. Chase Them Down. That's the one where you find an ally, right? Or find an enemy. Yeah. Chase Them Down is better with that. I don't think Chase Them Down is fantastic though, but allows you to play like the overkill. Like that's a cool thing. This is why the card is so good, is that it allows other people to play to do their thing. Like there's so many cool aggression ways to have payoffs with overkill and fighting minions, but the problem is you can't consistently get minions all the time. And now this is a way that your teammate can help you get minions all the time. It's so good. I'm a big fan of that card, clearly. That's math. Tuno is more likely to beat other people up than used statistically. Thanks so much for hanging out. We'll see you on Saturday. Mind you, the CBI does start in like less than 24 hours. So stay tuned for that. Again, I'll have all the links in the description. If you don't know the places, twitch.tv/nullsignal Netrunner, not Null Signal Games. It's different. It's Null Signal Netrunner on Twitch. On YouTube, just search Null Signal. You'll find it. They'll be back. And it's back up. JNet update was for CBI. It's back up. Worm. Firstly, thanks for resetting, JNet. I don't know if you know, you might appreciate this. We were just the click before flatlining a new player to Reeducation Neurospike, and they didn't get to see it, and their game ended 0-0, and it was the best ending. It was fantastic. What if I hypothetically bribe everyone to not play in the America's pod? Do I get 5 spots in the cut if I'm the only one? I don't know what happens. I reckon they'll come in from other folks. He knows I told him. Okay, fantastic. Yeah, GG. The best outcome. It was perfect. All right, we'll see y'all on Saturday. Good luck at the CBI on Friday. I'll be watching in chat. Take care.